See, it's you. It's you. I would have been fine.
I'm looking down.
You know how niggas fuck up and start blaming everybody. Hey, nigga.
Hey.
They got the heater on in the gym. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, can you shut up next door? I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to do something, man. Hey, can
Don't
shut up in
blame
there?
the neighbors on a Sunday. Oh, shit. Today's episode of the Meet the Brave podcast is powered by Northwest Pizza and Pasta, where if you think the pizza's great, wait till you try the wings. Hands down the best wings in the Valley. Order online now for takeout and delivery. Speed up that process, man. And in the meantime, make sure you're listening to the Meet the Brave podcast. Today's podcast is also powered by Uplifters, a Black-owned domino company, tables, notepads, pins, and specialized dominoes in hand-carved wood boxes. Order yours right now. The link is in the description. And also, Big Dog, Let's Bubble Productions, always backing us, got us looking great and running up these numbers, man. Our YouTube viewership, subscribe, hit the notifications, and that's all possible because of Let's Bubble Productions. Let's get it, man. So Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper.
I am LG.
Lex, B-U-B.
My brothers, how are y'all feeling? Happy Sunday.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I am too, actually. Actually, I feel great.
Yeah, I'm really good. I mean, we finally got some rain. I don't know what that means,
Okay,
but
stop there.
yeah.
You did a bid, Spokane. You from up there. I did Portland. I fuck with the rain, for real.
Shit.
Yeah, you gotta switch it up.
I didn't even have to look out the window. I knew as soon as I woke up. That
Like said like that. He said, yeah, that's rain.
Nah,
It's a little
shit,
moist
before my
out here.
eyes even opened, I just heard the little pitter patters.
Hey, fam, don't say pitter patter ever again to me, fam. We grown in here.
Shit, that's what I heard. I was like,
Oh man, nah, it's
Hide that one away. I fuck with that one. Pitter patters.
now the rain does something different. It's almost like a cleansing. Like all the bad shit gets washed away. Like I feel like, and then I could just move in the rain, like where everybody's like they gonna sit dolo. I always do the double layers, and it's like fuck it, we moving around. Like
This when you cleanse your soul.
oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm good. A restart, if you will.
let me guess, you be drinking OJ and listening to Sade?
What nigga? I do that when it's sunny outside. I don't need no rain.
You don't need no rain for that.
Shout out to Sudi, man. We miss you and moms out there in Atlanta. I picked Sudi up from the airport one time, and he got in the car. He was like, "Nigga, you just ride around listening to Sade? Like what?" And it had the nerve to have it in a CD player too. It's like that's just one of those. No matter what's going on, I can put that on. Like and contrary to everybody's belief, I'm more likely gonna put on Diamond Life too. That's the other part. Like, yeah, I can go either way, but Diamond Life for real, it just take me somewhere. I think it's a nostalgia, like comfort thing, but that's neither here nor there. We gonna get to the verses shit. If I was ever proud to be from the Bay,
Detox tea, little chop up the ginger.
see, that's next level. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Make sure you feeling real good. You know
I'm
what
not
I'm saying?
gonna do that.
Turn on the dehumidifier.
Oh, see, ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
you fancy, son.
say.
You fancy.
You got a classy one over here.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
I could tell you use Grey Poupon.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got a fireplace, just put the fireplace screen on the front. You know what I'm saying?
Turn the
So
heater
it can start
up.
crackling. You know what I'm
put
saying?
the YouTube that just has the fireplace.
Yeah,
loop.
just loop it. You know what I'm saying? You good.
Oh man, if there was ever a time I was proud to be from the Bay, it was yesterday. The world was waiting for verses to start. Shanti test positive for COVID, and niggas from the Bay didn't go easy. So that was pretty impressive. Keeping that same energy through and through. Did y'all see that shit? Like she announced, she was like I thought that she would get like some sympathy and some remorse, and that's just not how people from here are wired.
Nah.
It's like, yeah, we need to see your results because we feel like you ducking the smoke. Wait a minute, like that's what y'all jump to. But prayers to her and everybody in the country and abroad. The U.S. saw a ridiculous spike in like cases and deaths last week.
So the verses didn't happen?
Versus did not happen. They postponed it to January 6th or something like that. I could have that date wrong, but they postponed it till after the new year.
Okay.
But yeah, Shanti, hold your head. I hope you are resting and don't have a difficult bout. Like it's all jokes and shit, but man,
Also hope you working on your playlist.
yes, I hope this. I hope the
get your structure together.
yeah, I hope the smoke you received from this past week made you rethink fucking with Keisha, because I just saw so many people who are unfamiliar and they do this thing with the Bay where they just don't know, right? Like, and everybody else gets the benefit of the doubt. Atlanta, New York, and everywhere else gets the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, but we lit for real, and then they come in this arena and are immediately blown away by how the world fucks with the Bay and its influence. And so I felt like Ashanti was starting to feel that her and her camp were like, wait a minute, like, because you accept that battle, you go, Keisha Cole don't have as many hits as me on the surface. Then you start to do
and the Bay's personality, because
that's what it is.
They're not kissing no
kissing
ass.
no ass. That's that. I think it's more so that than anything. Yeah. But we didn't want to start the show with verses. A lot in the world is taking place. India is having the largest protest in the world that no one's talking about. So I want to hit push eventually and get to it. But my guys, I fuck with y'all. We episode 136. We didn't really say shit for 135. Before that was the year of Lex on the show. And y'all know how much I come on here and talk about how much I despise Andrew Schultz and shit like that. I gotta walk all that back. Not all of it, but you made a really good point the last time I said it, G, and you were like, yeah. And I don't, and maybe you didn't mean it like this, but how I took it was me getting so offended by the shit that he says is an indictment of me, not of him. And so I've been listening to the show, and like even the cringeworthy moments haven't been as cringeworthy. But
you also got to recognize people that are like walking within, like, I hate to use it, and I think that we should probably retire it, but walking within their privilege, because it just it's saturated at this point just to say people have privilege, you know what I mean? Because we know
it's redundant. Yeah,
we know people have privilege, and all that stuff right there. But for him in particular, he is operating fully and has actually decided to factor in the fact that he has it, and he uses it to his advantage. Yeah, so all of the anger that is building towards him for things that he says,
he loves it.
He feeds off of it. It's almost like the same thing that Wendy Williams does.
Wendy, Skip, Ack. There's a few people that have mastered it, but I wanted to highlight Schultz and send salute to him and that whole squad over there because of what they were able to parlay the work into. And so I hit y'all because I was like, yo, you think of some wild shit when you clean it up. So I went between the Cudi album, DB's album, and then
Great album.
And yeah, salute. Hey, Project Enrichment is out now. Salute my dog, man. Amazing work. Him, DJ Basta, SK, all the features. We'll talk. We might even call that nigga and see if he answer the phone. But I'm listening to Brilliant Idiots, and Charlamagne is congratulating Schultz on this Netflix special and everything they got going on. And Schultz was like, yeah, fuck all that. I got to salute my team and all the insane amount of work cats have put in. And he was like, yeah, for the last few months, it's been easily 100 hours a week. And I'm going, When you start to look at your algorithm and your timeline, and it's nothing but Flagrant 2, Brilliant Idiots, clips and everything, and then outside of that, his special clips and how they're using them, how they're titling them, all this really amazing shit.
That's something to be said, is the titling.
The titling,
because that's something that Joe and them might get irritated about on their end, and that's just really because you got to think about, like, when people start getting some sense of notoriety or money, then it's easy to take, like, your foot off the gas. Yeah. And that could be your entire team if you don't pay attention to every single person. And
Schultz and them been turning up.
But Schultz and them are like the titling of their clips is what has put them up to put them in the front of all the algorithms because it's like easy clickbait with what he puts on there. Like it could be nothing that what they're talking about is gonna be very similar to what the fuck they're gonna put in that title. But the title itself catches you like not many other titles out there. So I do that is a huge part of it.
Yeah. So in similar ways, come in and big up Rogan and Budden and what Schultz, Alex, and that whole team has done, what Carlos, Chico, and John and them, like what they have all done at 85 South, like it's really some, in terms of what this pandemic has.
You call that man John just now?
Oh, fuck, DC, my bad. Wait, his name is John though, right?
His name is John, but like,
yeah, I don't know.
Who gonna know bro is John?
I know I'm tripping. DC Young Fly.
I rock with him like that too. But I was like, you just put him in there like as if we supposed to know who John was.
I listen to that shit all the time. But
same here. But the casual people were just like,
just bigging John. Up the amount of work, because I guess it resonated different because it's the amount of work that we do here, and Charlamagne and Schultz were both just saying like, yeah, bro, like you start out wanting something completely different, and especially when you're attached to someone like Charlamagne, and you're like, yo, they're gonna give me some of this heat, like they gonna just pass it off, and it's like, yeah, could easily just pass it off, or I could just grind and leverage being in the rooms myself. And I've watched the likes of Brookfield Deuce do shit like that. Like, there's a few people I'm close, Kariga. Like, it's a few people I'm watching just finesse in the most epic of ways and leaning on the work. And so I just being consistent. Just want to salute niggas who are doing the work. So Schultz, all privilege aside, my nigga did the work. It's been phenomenal, regardless of how niggas feel. 85 South, same to y'all.
You also can't get irritated or angry at people that have obviously never had any repercussions for the shit that they've said or done.
Yeah,
it's like if you've been able to say whatever the hell you want to say and nobody's ever pressed you about that shit,
yeah,
then of course you're gonna continue to do that shit. And as you get more and more successful, you can build the buffers to make sure that people don't touch you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like it's wasted energy to be like, all right, bro, this nigga's doing this shit again. That's
real.
But if you get touched, then I best believe you don't continue on like that. That's the same way I feel about like and this is gonna be blasphemous to some people that like older heads or whatever, but like what's the Radiohead? Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, yeah.
Yeah, like I just think that just never got touched. So if you didn't get touched, then you just gonna keep doing the fuck you do.
I said all that in the grand scheme of things is like just giving people their flowers and like how the world is shaping out. There is so much going on, and it's rather minuscule. But it's something that I enjoy, that level of entertainment,
the creative side.
I really enjoy those processes. So it's a lot to be learned, but it also is giving people their flowers. So one of our day one listeners,
we might have to mark today. Money gave Schultz flowers for sure. On December 13th, 2020.
That's going to be the title of the episode.
You feel me? Like the first time.
One of our day ones.
Never thought I'd see this day, so anything's possible now, y'all.
It's one of our day one's birthdays, and I want to see if he picks up. He may not. Let's see.
Hey, Mondo.
Uncle Pete, you are on the Meet the Brave podcast with Lex, LG, and Monty, and we just wanted to wish Big Unc happy birthday, man.
Happy G-Day, Unc.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you guys. Love y'all, man.
We love you, Unc. What you want today?
I'm in the car right now, driving with wifey. Gonna go get some soul food from Brenda's right quick for some breakfast. Go get some shrimp and grits.
There you
go. Sound good to me, man. Make sure there's cheese in them things, man.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, nephew.
Love you.
LG.
Yes, sir.
Love you, Unc. Tell Yana hi. Yeah, give all the kids love, man. We miss you, and we just wanted to tell you happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you, fam. Love you guys.
All right,
sure. Be safe out there.
All right, I'll hit you up later.
All right. Now that cat right there, they only made one of them.
It's for real.
they only made one Uncle Pete,
real.
man. So I just want to give my dog love in that regard. And all of our other day one listeners, and what the Schultz shit did was put in the proper perspective what the fuck we got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like 136 episodes, bruh, is we're in waters that are rare. And it is very, we'll get to the Cudi shit eventually, but this ties to that too. It is really easy to get caught up in analytics, the data, the numbers, all that shit, when they are relatively low. You know what I'm saying? If it's a few, it's only a few views on this one, it's a couple hundred on this one, it's a couple thousand on this one, and you like, all right, fam, what the fuck? You know? It's learning, to L's point, it's titling, it's metadata, it's all these different things that you got to really just learn and take time with. But what gives you a whole nother leg up is the consistency, the quality, and the effort, and the people's willingness to go problem solve and learn. So having Lex come be a part of the show and offer his expertise has set it apart. Building the studio and the consistency. Salute to Lucas and Jaren for doing all this amazing work to make it seamless, where it's like, yo, pull up at 10, bro, and it's just plugging in a few things and just hitting record and just going. Like, it's all these different elements, and then Push calling me and like, yo, y'all mixing is trash, fam. I'm gonna take over, you know, and
exact words.
Verbatim. Like, but that's why I love that shit, and you feel like, yo, we at the very least are giving ourselves a chance, you know, and just the work to go figure this shit out. And so it's just really dope to be able to lean into that, and then during the week to get these awesome messages about what it is that the show represents. Fuck all the numbers. Fuck all if it's viral, if it's not. There are people that are reaching out, going, yo, we appreciate this type of dialogue, this type of show.
You also might want to be consistent before you're viral, because it's gonna fuck some shit up if you're not ready.
Be consistent before you're viral, my nigga. That's a bar.
You might want to catch that before.
That's a bar. Yeah, and so that kept reoccurring. The consistency before, like that's a bar, G, in so many ways, because Cudi. Man on the Moon 3 is out. I hope everybody stopped all they had to fucking do and listen to that. He sat down with Zane Lowe and did a few other interviews and just had these really dope deep dives. Where were y'all on Cudi prior to? Like, are y'all Cudi fans like that, or y'all just is cool? Like, and do you have feelings either way?
Nah, I really fucked with his first project a lot.
Man on the Moon.
Yeah. And then kind of fell off after that for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But whenever I heard him feature, I liked his features within his albums. Just
got you. Were you a Cudi fan, G?
Yeah. I definitely fuck with Cudi. I haven't heard this one yet, unfortunately. But I'm not like the first one to music right now, unfortunately. But I've been a fan of Cudi for sure, and I'm always a fan of like super introspective, like it's almost borderline, or not in Cudi's case for sure sad, but like but people that are like kind of towing that line, and like I fuck with that music for sure.
So Man on the Moon 1, very interesting time in both music and just impact. Again, freshman year of school, it for whatever reason, everything that was being dropped in and around that time was hitting different, from the Wale's, the Wizz's, the Jay Electronicas, the Currencies. Like that whole wave of music was very, very specific. And this one person just kind of cut through out of everybody. In terms of representing another dimension of what being a black male could mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't really heard anybody black that looked that cool express some of the sadness, the isolation, the thoughts, the bouts with mortality and suicide, all these different things. And and I get why some of the OGs were turned off by it and didn't really fuck with it. But it was a very specific style I felt like made for for a very specific type of experience, and Cudi like hit that shit out of the park, and so it's a real cult following. And then Man on the Moon 2, similar shit, and then
he also does a great job of playing with like sound waves.
Oh yeah,
he uses his voice as like a instrument.
No one's ever done that.
Yeah,
and so when you hear the influence that eventually leads into the Twisted Dark Fantasies and the Blueprint 3s and fuck. Why can't I think of the Ye album, the one that just changed music forever?
I'm Heartless and stuff
yeah.
like that?
808s and Heartbreaks.
808s and Heartbreaks. Like, just change music forever. And then Travis comes and picks up that torch but is largely influenced because of Cudi. I'm setting it up like this to go, by my measurement as a fan, bruh's out of here and in a world of his own. And some of my favorite artists today, Rex Life Raj, Iman Europe, they feel the exact same way about Cudi. And there's a lot of people I know that feel that way. But here he is sitting down with Zane Lowe going, yeah, I don't think people really fuck with me like that. And going, yeah, Man on the Moon 1 and 2, they both took 10 years to go platinum. And you're going, God damn. I just listened to, and I got a lot of shit for it, but I listened to Andre 3000 express something very similar in terms of like what the gratification can mean and do in a sense of just being a creative that just wants to express and say very specific shit and carve out something brand new that doesn't have a measuring stick. Like you hear Cudi and you can't go, he sounds like such and such. You just can't do it. You hear shit Andre 3000 is doing and you go, yeah, I really don't have a reference point for this. So it either gets cast aside or it absolutely gets loved and protected.
Cultivated.
But there is no middle ground for people like that. And it just started making me think of all the people who are one of ones for real. And how much easier the road traveled of like, yo, Pop Smoke came and made a whole sound. Let's get them same type of beats. Let's mimic that same flow and let's just go for it. It's a safe bet. And that was one of the questions that Zane Lowe brought up was like, yo, you ain't really have a safety net like that. And Cudi's like, yeah. He's like, I didn't think about it then at the time, but as it started happening and seeing like album after album get killed critically and by the masses, quote unquote, I was like, damn, that wasn't my experience with those records, and it wasn't my experience with other listeners. It was a complete opposite. And so it just made me think about the way that hate or critique cuts through versus the way that admiration and love does. Like it's a unique sort of fucking experience where all you can really fixate on is the hate as opposed to, man, at least these people love it. I'm selling out these shows, or these people are showing up, or my peers fuck with me for real. Go ahead, G.
I think a lot of it also has to do with how you feel about yourself. Like before you even get into a booth to say something, you know. And I think for Cudi's past, at least, the avid use of drugs lets you know a lot about an individual that is struggling with their own image. Yeah. You know, so I think before you even get to admiration from outside people and if they like it or they hate it and stuff like that, before you even get to that, it's literally how you feel about yourself first and foremost. And if you don't feel that well about yourself, then a lot of those you start fixating a lot more on like the people that may hate it as opposed to people that do love it. Because I'm pretty sure if Cudi was to look at if he just looked at his a sheet of people that loved and hated, you would probably see way more people on that sheet that are saying that they love something that Cudi has done or is giving that admiration on there. But he's gonna fixate on the people that are saying nah, and it could be somebody that doesn't matter, or it could be somebody not that everybody matters, but like it could be somebody that it doesn't matter within his circles. On like doesn't know anything about music, but is just more so just out here to troll and hate and shit. And that shit is way more amplified if you don't feel too well about yourself. So that's something that I think that could come into play for his particular situation too. Besides being an artist overall, like if you're out there giving art, if you're giving out art, then yes, you're gonna be mad sensitive about it because you spend the time on it. You know what I'm saying? So like once it goes out to people, then they can critique it, and it's like, bro, are you there though, my nigga? Like I spent hella time on this shit. Like I've done all the steps to what you have to do to get this to the point of putting it out, and then now all you do is just listen to it and say, I don't fuck with it. Yeah. And it's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? What have you done that says that? You know what I mean? That's the type of back and forth that you end up having with the public. So yeah, I think the drug part for this particular person will play a huge role in how you feel, because people that do heavy drugs tend to have like it breaks off like your filtering. Like yes, you're filtered away from the world where you don't pay attention to shit. But once you come down and you're at your lowest, best believe all that shit can cycle in. It's very similar to if you're dealing with like the flu season and shit like that, where like it gets into your immune system. People that have broken down immune systems, the best way to break your immune system down to let some shit in, bet you more people get like the cold after they went out on a night of binge drinking. Yep. Because you've already attacked all of your defense mechanisms. Yep. And it's very similar. The drugs, you attacked all your defense mechanisms. So when you do actually, once that shit cycles out of your body and you sweat that shit out of your system, everything allows itself in, including people's hate. That's just like fucking clockwork. You know what I mean? So that's unfortunate because Cleddy's super talented.
Super talented. And again, somebody who's regarded as one of the greats, but not even amongst the average consumer or the fans, but the peers, right? And so it just got me to thinking about the youth, aspiring artists, and not even just youth. Like there's niggas that are, close to my age, older, who are still suffering with the idea of notoriety, accolades, the instant gratification. It's like, huh. And it just, again, you start thinking about shit, and it made me think, how many people would do anything if there were no like button, if there were no retweet button, if there was no ability to comment and like how many people would continue to do or produce anything if that were the case?
You mean like after the like button was invented? Or are you talking about if it was never a thing?
Let's do both,
because that's two completely different personalities.
That's a really good point, G. Let's talk about both.
Okay. I think way more people would create shit if there was never a like button. If there was never a like button. Now that there has been a like button, best believe, even if you took that thing away now, everybody's so trained that I think the people that were creating will no longer create. Yeah. Like, it'll be few and far between that they'd actually create something because they'll start becoming super insecure.
The currency's gone.
Exactly.
The current, not even the currency, the real drug, as I want to call it. Like, we want to talk about dope, like ghetto dope. Like, this is. I imagine this ain't what P meant, but this is what it's morphed into. It's so cheap. If crack was hella cheap and easy to make, if meth was hella cheap and easy to make, nigga, this don't cost you a fucking thing. And it's the most addictive thing in the world. Like people who have had extreme success and the riches that you dream about are still going, my nigga, but they don't like me. Yeah. Whoa. And you're something that is attached to your, because Cuddy ain't no amateur at all. He ain't no SoundCloud rapper. This nigga ain't rapping in no closet. He can get paid from this shit. His show money, what he leverages in the acting and shit. Like, he really get bread off this shit, and he's still addicted to the shit that don't cost no money at all. And we're seeing that time and time again. And I don't want to say addicted, he's impacted by. Whereas people who ain't getting no money at all have become completely dependent upon the like and the gratification and how that feels. Like, yo, I'm having a bad day, my nigga. I'm about to post a picture real quick. I'm having a bad day. I'm about to post TBT. Just for the hell of it.
Age comes into play too, because the older you get, all that like shit is a young person's game. Like, the older you get, you're not getting as many likes, bro. Like that's just case in fact. Like more and more people are going to be talking shit because more and more people, like more and more your peers, in your peer group are growing up as well. They're becoming a lot more confident in things that they say, even if it's wrong. They've gotten into their ways, and they are able to voice their opinion now. Yeah. Whether it's right or wrong, they're doing that shit. So the older you get, your base is getting older too. They're gonna be critiquing the fuck out of what you say. And then the youth, they don't give a fuck about nothing that you're doing. They weren't here for your come up, so they don't know nothing about that shit. They're only hearing that, oh, that shit's completely different from what I listen to. So I don't want to hear that shit. And you be listening to that shit more than you be listening to the fact that, hey, I've done this to this point, and there's a lot more that I want to do. Just do that shit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like I think that's the spectrum, unfortunately.
All of that to get to how amazing Man on the Moon 3 is, though. Like, 2020. Oh, the final numbers for what the not just fuck the music industry, what the performance portion of the music industry, the revenue that it lost. You saw that number?
That was a crazy number.
Last night at dinner, I go, because we've been having this conversation since the beginning of quarantine, like the investment Freak and I made, assuming that we'd be able to tour all of spring, all of summer, and part of the fall. We were only able to get back like 10% of those deposits and shit. So I've been documenting that for the family just to give some perspective. And so last night I go, oh, by the way, that number came out. They're like, oh, what was it? It's like, I just get a guess. I just want to see where you at. $1 billion? And then somebody said $500 million. I said, really? Try 30. 30 billion.
Hey, and then you wonder why St. John does festival music.
Come on.
Hey, if they pull in 30 billion, they're losing 30 billion in a pandemic year, bro. They are just throwing cash.
Our block alone, 3 venues closed that are gone, that are wiped out. And this is what is this, month 10 or is this month 9? This is month 10, right?
Nah, we ain't been in that. It's just about 8 or 9.
This is 9.
Okay. I think it's probably 9 now.
Okay,
we're at 9. Yeah,
9 months.
Yep, because we got January, February, and then March coming right back around.
So we're getting knocking on the door of a year of no venue performances at all. We're talking about upwards of $30 billion already, and then we're gonna wipe out South by Southwest is canceled for 2021. Sundance has not said what they are gonna do. Coachella, Glastonbury.
All right, this is a super sick note, but I'll be thinking about this shit. And all right, so we ain't had these venues performing, but we also haven't had any mass killings. It's a sick with it. They got to shine a mirror on that. It's something has to be paid attention to on that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get people aren't congregating like that, but bro, like that there's a particular group that has decided to take out a lot of people at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And we ain't had that shit at all.
Yeah.
Like, people are still congregating. Like, that shit's still happening.
Yeah, for sure.
But it ain't happening. Like, people that are like disregarding the whole pandemic and shit and coming together and shit like that, you ain't hearing about hella people dying at the exact same time. You hearing one-offs.
Yeah.
A few people here and there. You ain't hearing a whole gang of people
yeah.
at one time. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, I just wanted to bring that up. And setting the tone for the 2020, the year in review for music. From Spillage Village, Salt, Cudi now, Freddie Gibbs, Benny the Butcher, Hit Boy, Nas, Hit Boy, everything Grand National's done, Jane Hancock by herself. It's been a real special year for music. Rex Life Raj, like it's been incredible.
Where did they announce the the award shows at?
What do you mean?
Like award shows are still happening.
Oh yeah,
they've been happening like online, but like where do they announce them? Like where do they say that? Oh, this award show is on this date at this time, because BET Awards happen, right?
Yeah.
Where'd they announce that at?
BET in different platforms, but it's like and we talk about it often with the apps and everything. It's become so personalized. Like if you not looking for it, you damn near don't have this. It don't have to come across your timeline. Like the marketing, and that's why our information is so important. So because you don't have to go. All right, I'm about to buy this expensive ass ad in this newspaper in this magazine to generally market my product. Facebook and everybody else doing this work to get your data can tell me exactly who the fuck my demo is.
Oh, social networks. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Okay.
So if you don't be checked, nigga, if you ain't never searched for no award show on your YouTube, the fuck am I promoting to you for?
Huh.
I can get right to the source. Cut all that shit out. And that's why it's become every and so who did you got the streaming numbers in your notes this week, right? Or is it yeah. So when we looking at what you get per streams, it's like, yo, why is everything so cheap? Because of marketing dollars. It like if I don't got to go spend no marketing dollars, if I don't got to go buy an expensive ass Super Bowl ad or a commercial slot, and I can go right to Spotify and give them a fraction of that, I'm gonna do that twice over. I'm gonna renew this contract. It's gonna be a 3 to 5 year contract with them to promote this product on there. Oh, Spotify got that bread locked in, so we can do this exclusive deal. It's a fucked up thing when money is cheap as hell. Money's cheaper than it's ever been. So the artists are feeling it the most. Spotify gonna keep their lights on. Apple gonna keep their lights on. You name it, them lights gonna be on. But they selling them ad spots for hella cheap with the contingency that the deals are for a longer period of time. So fucked up. But I know who my demo is. So I only got to spend money. Oh, and now you telling me I don't have to spend money with no platform. I can go direct to Brilliant Idiots if I'm DoorDash and just market with them. I know what they doing per clip. They doing $1 million a clip. Joe Rogan doing $1 million a clip, and then has the nerve to do a million views on his 3-hour podcast. I'm going to spend money directly with him. Spotify. Hey Joe, we got 100 for you. If you can do that on your own, we won't in. It's a fucked up game, but you gotta love it.
Also says why Facebook, Amazon, and Apple are so fucking important.
Exactly. They got all the metrics on that ass and can help zero.
They got your data down
pat to a T. They know you better than you know you. All that trying to get to this how amazing this Cudi record is and how much it cut through.
See, Cudi, you see how much conversation happens around.
You know what I'm saying, man?
You know how much it tears off and shit.
You are a national treasure. What the freedom. Shout out to Dr. Genius and everybody that produced the record too. Oh shit, it's about to get spicy. Hey, you on the podcast, Dad? Don't say nothing crazy.
You see, I'm on the podcast right now.
Yeah, don't say nothing crazy.
Big Onk.
I ain't gonna say nothing crazy.
You heard LG?
Yeah, I heard it.
What's up, man?
What's going on? What y'all doing? Y'all doing y'all thing today?
That's it. That's all, man.
What's up with you, Pop?
Nothing, man. I'm just chilling. Just watching the NCIS New Orleans.
Dad, how many times you done seen that show?
I watch it every time I come home.
The running joke is every time I talk to him, Dad, you done seen every Rambo at least 300 times.
Yes, I have. I ain't gonna lie. I was just watching it the other day.
I ain't bad at it.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was just watching it the other day, man. You know me. I'm a Rambo man.
Oh man. We gonna finish the show, Paul. You need something?
No, I didn't need nothing,
okay.
Man. I was returning your call because I saw you call me yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, I called hit Nana. She was looking for you.
Oh, okay.
All right, love you, man. I'll call you after we done.
Love you too, man. Check my nephew. I say.
All right, man. Love you.
All right, peace. That nigga is hilarious.
That's hella funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Cuddy, I just wanted to say thank you. Man on the Moon 3, extremely special. Means a lot to me. We spent way too much time on it, but it spawned into hella other conversations. So,
but that's what Cuddy do.
That's what Cuddy do. The largest protest known to man, 250 million people.
Asia. Asia.
Yeah. We got
West?
No, India. So
okay. Yeah.
See if he can answer this. The pod full of phone calls today.
We need that.
He might not answer. He'll call back.
I was about to say, Push.
Yeah, he'll call right back. Yeah. To my knowledge, the people are just fed up with the treatment of their government.
Mm-hmm.
Enough's enough. Farmers being unjustly arrested, having their properties seized, families who own property and are operating not with dual. I don't think the dual citizenship works the way that it works for other countries, but are here or having their property like literally Indian Americans or who still have property are having their shit. See, like all kind of insane shit that their government is trying to pull off, and 250 million people went fuck that and went on strike. And no one's talking about it. It ain't on our news. And we love to be in people's business.
I was about to say they have control over their what's name, don't they? Like over like their media streams.
Yeah, oh yeah. The way what gets consumed and what's
we would have no clue.
Ain't no freeform media over there, not like it is here.
Yeah, we would have no clue then.
And so, and I don't want to make this about us, but it feels connected, and that's why I was trying to call Push to get more of the specifics, because I don't want to just generalize it and dismiss it. But there is a larger discussion to have as to how much power 250 million people have to go, fuck y'all, ain't nothing moving no more. How about that? And what that type of power looks like translated here. Man, if we got half of that to go, nah, fuck all that. Ain't nothing moving here. Cause it's so sick. And it's just what's the word? G, it's disingenuous for people to continue to act like they give a shit when capitalism is protected most by the liberals. That's not fuck. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making that up. I'm not pulling that out of thin air, bro. Go look at the people who identify and who benefit the most. Or how about this? Go look at the motherfuckers who fled California when shit got thick for real. All y'all, Elon is building in Texas now. He getting the fuck up out of here. He not playing with Gav and these bullshit ass taxes. He out. Oracle is building in Texas right now. They not playing these like dog. The liberties that they were protected in California under, and how much they were able to finesse, and then, oh man, we gonna break this state up. They remember that conversation? All the big money is like, fuck all that. We'll go build in Seattle first. Oh fuck it, we'll go to Portland. We can fuck with Portland. Texas, why? Hey, and it remind I want to feel like the big money niggas was having that conversation that Buns and Sincere was having in Belly. Hey, they get money in Nebraska, nigga. Like, I felt like that's how that went. Like, hey, you know they not fucking around in Texas, but it's a red state. Yeah, but nigga, you ain't no taxes for real.
You know, somebody was like, nigga, they can afford exotic animals.
Real shit. Like I'm telling you, bro, and that conversation with Joe Rogan and the man who's running for the black dude who's running for governor of Texas was so dope, because they were talking about the bumper stickers of "Don't California our Texas." It's like, yeah, all that bullshit y'all was going for out there. Like, remember, this a red state y'all moving to. And all of the liberties and the freedom that you want is because we vote as a red motherfucking state. And so it's so disingenuous, bro. And there's so much oppression that exists in the name and the honor of the left. And the people who listen to the show go, oh, bro, you sound real Republican. It's like, fuck all that. I don't fuck with none of them niggas. I just know that the people who keep getting fucked the most and who keep getting leveraged, the way the white feminists leverage all the black women in the 50s, 60s and shit, and it was like, fuck you once they got their rights. Like, it's the same thing that's happening right now, bro. You only need us to push your agenda and have the largest votership turnout ever, and then none of the shit we need get addressed at the end. And so I'm watching, I'm having to search high and low for information on what the fuck is happening in India, and I can only get it from my nigga who just happens to be my friend since the 4th grade and just so happens to have real ass ties and real ass stake in what's happening there, because his family's land is in jeopardy. His family's legacy is literally in jeopardy, and no one's talking about it. But they're pulling off one of the greatest protests ever, some shit we could learn from. It's not on accident. You can get access to anything else. I can watch King Von be murdered on fucking camera, but I can't see what the fuck is happening in India. Something's going on, bro. This is weird. And forgive my vagueness that I don't have more information. That's why I wanted to talk to Push. But you can't find shit. Like, literally, you can't find any information.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of touched on it last pod, and I didn't want to go too far into it because I think that it's something that people need to look into for themselves. Yeah. It's not something that I'm willing or even have like researched and studied for long enough for me to like be like the one that's out here passing off the information for it. You know what I'm saying? But we are very much so tied to India. In the first place, because of India's scheduled caste system that they have over there. That's the reason why the 250 million people would want to protest against it, is because they can't actually, like, yes, you can come in and take my shit because we do not find you worthy enough to do so. You know, do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't see you. You're not a part of like the top end group over here. You're not a dominant caste person. You are, you're a subordinate. So we do whatever we want to you, and a lot of that is very similar to the U.S. I mean, the U.S. is set up the exact same way. It would say that it's marked off as classes, but it's truly just that it's a caste system. Like we do not believe that subordinate people have rights in the first place. Yes, we gave them to you, but once you have them, what can you actually do with it if you still have to vote for each and everything that we have to pass along for you? Like, in order to change something, you have to vote for it. Yeah. You have to have enough people turn out for it. But there are people that spend their entire lives in the dominant group, and all they did was delegate off a piece of that power to the lower end of the dominant group. Yeah. So if the dominant group, you would say, is the 1%, right? Then you would say that there are people that have less money than the people that are in the subordinate caste, but will still find themselves to be superior to them because of their shade of color. Yeah. That's all they gave them. So therefore, you do all of that racial shit for us. That's our buffer from getting to us. You know what I'm saying? So
you do all that racial shit for us is hilarious. Bro, that's exactly how it goes.
We gave you race. You know what I mean? Like, what else do you want? Like, we gave you race. Now figure out what you want to do with it. We're not going to give you money. Like, don't think you about to get anything green from us. Yeah. Don't even think that, because we don't even see money as real. So if you want to grab green, then again, we gave you another color.
Go for the illusion. the perception of money and what you think it protects.
Even the idea of green, like if you're always chasing green and not knowing that money is not actually real, then that's another color that we gave you to chase. You know what I'm saying? Like you're above this other group, so you just worry about keeping them where they are. Yeah. If they get past that, make them now chase after green because they're so starved. Yeah. And then after that, they will never see that we're not really doing any of this shit for real. Like none of this shit is actually a physical thing that you can touch. Yeah. This is all a mentality. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely get the correlation between the two on both sides. Is he calling me?
No,
my bad.
No.
So yeah, I definitely get the correlation between the two. There's a lot more to it, but that's like the bare bones like connection between the two sides. But I didn't even realize from like the situation that I had that caste was such a major part of that situation. You know what I mean? So like it was a lot of factors that were operating outside of either one of the two parties' control. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a very interesting thing too. So that's the reason why I want to dive into that a lot more. But yeah. There's a lot in play. There's a lot in play.
There's so much in play. This is the information age. Google, you can Google anything. You can search anything. Protests in India, good luck. Good luck finding any information, the information that's pertinent.
You do know that there was a protest in China, right? Like there was a protest initially in China, and what the Chinese government did to all of the protesters was all they did was mark who was protesting. They sent in their military and they killed off everybody that protested.
Jesus.
And that is how they won the arms race between the U.S. and Russia. Was that they were a lot more. They were really about this shit. Like they decided that hey. The only way that we're going to win this arms race is that we have everybody on the same accord.
Page. And
if you're not, then we're just going to kill you off. We have enough people. We're going to kill you off. And America wasn't.
We have enough people.
We have enough people.
We have over.
Yeah, no. That's what I mean. We got enough people where we can justify killing the largest protest and keep shit pushing.
Yeah.
And then what that imagery and that symbolism does to all the remaining survivors is
fall in line or get knocked off.
Get down or lay down, state property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get down or lay down, state property. Holy smokes!
Why do you think that Trump being the person that he is, and I hate saying that name, so my bad. 45 being the person that he was, and gung ho about making sure that he acknowledged the Proud Boys, wherever the fuck that was.
Man.
Acknowledged that the people that had the tiki torches, that wasn't a problem to him. Acknowledged the fact that protesters are scum and that such and such things should be okay to happen to them because they're going against the flag. Why do you think somebody that's so connected to dictators would think in the way that he does and spew out the hate that he did during his term?
He read them Hitler books. Like for real.
I have an even crazier thing for you. Hitler got his ideas from the U.S. So how the U.S. was set up for slavery, Hitler got that information and he created an entire structure off of what he saw in the U.S. And the cold part is that Nazi Germany didn't think that some of the things that we were doing were
bad initially.
Huh? They didn't think it was bad, but then also when all that shit was over with, they nipped that shit in the butt. Man. Like it was like, oh shit. Like the things that are going on in the US is the craziest things we've ever thought or seen. Because it wasn't so much that, oh, we're gonna take this population and kill them off. It was that we're gonna mentally fuck them for the rest of their lives.
Forever.
And they was like, that sounds like the most inhumane thing that you can possibly do to a person. We're not doing that. But we'll do something close to that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that's just fucking sickening, but yeah.
Sheesh. Speaking of 45, how do you think people feel, the people who were most critical the Waynes and the people who took pictures with 45. Do you think they feel different now? Or is it still the same?
I don't think they even know anything about that. Like feel different in what way? Because I think you would have to actually do your own research to feel different about any of this shit.
I mean, because, we spoke about it. I didn't. It just didn't bother me. I feel like we see way more egregious things. I feel like certain industries, certain corporations, and certain people have done significantly more damage than 45. It's just under the protection of this fucked up Constitution that people love so much, black people included. And so he gets a lot more of the hate, but a lot more damaging shit that's been done in my opinion. And I get that I'm totally open to being educated on why I'm absolutely wrong, if that is the case.
It's on par.
And so the Wayne picture ain't really bothered me like that. So fast forward to the case, the charges being rolled out, and the fact that they were rolled out was already suspicious to me. Like, I've never seen Fed charges be rolled out before. Like, there was a press release for them. And then a few weeks go by, literally, I'm not exaggerating, a few more weeks go by, and Wayne pleads guilty. So now I'm reading this, I'm going, this feels like those white collar cases where it's like Enron or some shit, where it's like, it's mad lenient. Like, it ain't no reports of doors being kicked in, ain't no doors of people being harassed and interrogated and nothing. This is a white collar investigation that's just mad, just slow. And he like, okay. So was this truly like a white collar Enron type of a big tobacco case where, hey yo, Don, I got this going on, bro. I need to come rap with you for a minute. Like, and they're like, hey Wayne, we got word that they about to come down on you. You might want to figure this shit out. And I know it's far-fetched. I get it, but it kind of has that feeling to it where it's like, yo, this is just business. And again, leveraging our emotions, Wayne is supposed to, because he's Lil Wayne and has been Lil Wayne forever, he's supposed to do, air quote, right by black folks.
Whatever that means.
Whatever the fuck that means. Everybody else gets to operate under the context of like this business as usual, though.
Hey man, he gave y'all Georgia Bush, man. What else do you want?
Time
is over.
I don't want to do this, G, and sound like I'm defending him. I'm just asking. When will we start to support one another playing just as dirty as our quote unquote enemy? And if we're expecting to win this war, because I'm just pray about it. Hey, go to church. Hey, do the right thing. Nonviolent, brother. Forgive the enemy. Fuck all that, man. They're killing us.
I nigga got all the quotables because I just heard all them things.
I'm saying,
nah, you're right.
And this is I'm
with you so far.
This is a whole nother level of sinister that we're talking about. And you keep regurgitating metaphors back to me. I get asked all the time, you know the story of, you name it, David and Goliath. I'm like, yeah, who doesn't know those stories? They're awesome fucking metaphors. Like the greatest metaphors when applied right, some real powerful shit. However, for some reason, these surpass the concept of metaphors for black folks in particular, and we are supposed to sit on our hands and just take it. That's not what I get when I read that.
I'm also not.
I'm supposed to go get fuck the slingshot. It's 2020. I'm supposed to go get a chopper. What we doing? Am I some?
Nah, I'm with this.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Monty talking today.
All right, man.
Monty talking.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
I'm with you. I mean, it's important to have these questions, man. And also, I'm not about to be. Hey, y'all don't want to hear my theories and my philosophies on like that damn book because like, bro, I don't know who wrote it. I don't. It sounds good. You know what I mean? Like the metaphors and stuff like that. I get it. It's good quotables. It's good something to live by for people that don't know how to live. You know, like just don't go out there and experience the world and realize that this shit, things change. Like you're presented 20 different options on every single moment of the day that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I think quantum physics is more fucking important than trying to live by the book. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hella different ways to live this lifestyle. Like and you can choose the wrong one in one moment and it be the end. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not that part is whatever to me. But the I think that it's great that the game is being played in the way that it's being played if that's what's happening. Because I think that you should be afforded a certain type of luxury if you've made a certain amount. Like you should have the certain connections to be able to pull some shit like this off. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. You know, like unfortunately everybody's not afforded the same opportunities.
Yeah.
But if somebody, if a person of color is able to pull that off and gets the heads up or gets the proper information to plead or whatever, and be pardoned or whatever the hell is going to happen. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with that particular situation. I don't even know if that's going to be the case. I don't know if that plea was in order for him to have less time and he still got to go sit down. I have zero clue what the hell that's going to be.
Yeah.
But if that's the case and there is a way that was able to get out of that for that bullshit ass charge in the first place.
You know what
I'm saying? Like it's a bullshit charge to begin with. It's a hating ass charge to begin with. So you should be able to figure out a way to get out of a hating ass charge. The charge shouldn't happen in the first place because it's going on my record. You wasted my record away. Bro, I got pulled over the other day. Not in my car now, but in a rental when we was going out to Tahoe, and barely over the speed limit. And but it was a fucking Ranger that pulled me over, and it wasn't it wasn't the highway police.
You didn't laugh at that nigga?
Huh?
You didn't laugh at him?
To begin with. So that's why he pulled me over, because he said I had it fucked up.
A Ranger?
Bro.
Nigga, what year is this, bro? If you don't get out of here.
I did. Like he said I think he was like the forester police or some shit.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a forest in sight.
You tripping, cuz hey, you need something, Playboy?
Bro.
You tell him to go get his picnic
Bro,
basket.
he caught up to us down the line, bro, pulled me over. His only plan was to hold us long enough for the police to show up. So I'm talking to him, and this is Poe's of you. So I was when I got up, I was like, damn, Poe, didn't that remind you a little bit? Like later on, because I think later on that weekend was when West Night came out. Lovecraft came out.
Oh, yeah.
And then they did the Sun Downtown.
Oh,
so I hit Poe back. I was like, bro, didn't that remind you? Because the way that he was talking from the passenger seat window was almost as if like he wanted me to like admit that, you know, I had him kind of fucked up and my bad. You know what I mean? Like the way he was talking to me. Like he was like, all right, let me see your ID, you know, your registration, whatever. I'm like, bro, this ain't in my car, bro. Like this is a Windsor. I'm just getting to the West Nine, whatever. But here you go. So you go to the car, look at my background shit, and then come back to the car. He's like, all right, so you ain't got the best like run or whatever, but I'm gonna let you off this time.
That's like, their favorite thing. I'm gonna let you go this nigga. Yeah. I didn't even do nothing.
I mean, but they don't tell me I ain't got the best rap sheet. My nigga, thank you, appreciate it.
I know.
Bro. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more so because I done got caught a few times with some bullshit. Facts. You know what I'm saying? To even have a rap sheet to begin with that you could pull up as a Ranger to tell me, nigga, that hey, I'm gonna let you off this time. And then we pulled off. That's when the highway person pulled up, behind him, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad I got the fuck about this one because highway police are the worst. So yeah, I just had to say that real quick, just as far as rap sheets go.
So that nigga, you ain't got the best
bro.
rap.
Nigga, bro. But he was really trying to sell the fact that he's doing me a favor right there. I'm like, my nigga.
Hey, you know I'm doing you a solid now.
You feel me? You ain't got the best rap, you know what I'm saying? But
oh man, nah, that
my nigga, I am in a RAV4.
What you think I rap for? Bro, get a fucking RAV4?
This is somebody's minivan, my nigga. What I'm supposed to do with this?
That shit is funny.
You want to impound this thing? All right, man.
What for as amazing as 2020 has been with the music, it's also been impossible with the losses, transitions. Like friends that have lost like some of their loved ones and people that mean the world to them. It's been impossible to imagine. And then I never really know what to do with the celebrities and stuff that pass, but those who have been a part of our entire existence as like consumers, I feel like we get to grieve that. That feels, once I found out his name was Tiny Zeus Lester, I was like, you're definitely gonna be Debo forever. But rest in peace to the legend, man.
For sure.
They say natural causes, right? That's what I read. I read natural causes. Did you see something different?
Yeah, no, they were like natural causes, and then there's other sites that are saying like he had COVID, but he never like got all the way better.
Got it. And he did eventually have COVID, and okay.
Then he got better, but not like he wasn't.
He didn't recover.
Yeah, and then they said like he was starting to get sick again.
Got it. So. Got it, man. Yeah. Rest in peace to the legend. Fuck. So this nigga, I don't want to tell this story next time, but because it's only gonna be funny. So I always wanted to do theater. But had to wait till high school, obviously. And so I did do my first play, and it was a very small role. But because it's like student athlete, first play, all my niggas decided to show up to this play. So when I walk out and like my makeup and my hair is dyed and I got on fucking tights or whatever, I walk out and the crowd starts dying, my nigga. And but it was a serious ass play. It was a fucking crucible, for crying out loud. So it was like, it's nothing to laugh at. Like it was a serious moment in the play, and everybody starts dying. So the entire cast on stage is like the multi-purpose room was roaring. Like that's how loud it was. And so on stage, we all just took a minute and like kind of laughed and like got back to it. But it was like, that was hilarious. And so after they do awards after each play, and we're at the award ceremony, and the theater teacher, shout out Miss Noel too, she goes, "Yeah, we definitely had to make up a category this year for this particular character," because she's like, "I've never seen anything like this," and it was like, it was tiny role, big impact, something like that or whatever. And then for the rest of the year, the castmates were calling me Debo. It was the funniest shit because like, mind you, the entire cast was like normal size, and then here my big ass come in tights and everything, like, yeah, and like trying to say my lines and shit. But it was like, and
you had the beige joints on,
bruh. But it was you got me fucked up, G. It was the they were wearing knickers or whatever back then in those days, so I had to have on both. So it was like it stopped at my knees and then underwear the fucking tights. Y'all got me fucked up, bro. Ain't nobody.
I'm just checking.
But
I'm just trying to see how far you got your rocks off for that one,
man. I thought about Debo in terms of the impact, or Tiny in terms of the impact he would make in these very limited small roles, and that's a gift in itself.
My boy Punk.
Right? Like, some of our favorite quotables are from him in those films, and then to see the outpouring from other celebrities and his peers, like what he meant to their community, and like how many people who were his really good friends, is like damn, you. Sometimes genius is like hella discreet. It's not. It don't have to always be overt. Doesn't always have to be loud, obnoxious. How well can you just show up and do your part? And it's something that isn't really explored or talked about until something as unfortunate as someone that meant that much transitioning. And so I just want to big it up. You want to big him up, but you also don't want to keep having to do the thing and do it retroactively. You hope that person knew what they meant to fans and to an industry, and like, you know, it's just something I consider. You as a filmmaker, Lex, what would you say when you're doing character development, like? And this is solely from a fan perspective, so I'm asking you as like the expert, where you go character development. If you're writing a role as small as because what would you say he in the first Friday? What is he? He's 10% of that storyline.
Yeah,
maybe
15,
maybe because of the fight at the end, maybe a little higher, but not a significant part of it. But the most memorable parts are him, Big Worm. Like we give Craig and Day Day the glory. Smokey and Craig. I'm sorry, yeah, Smokey and Craig and Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. But shit, the guys who have passed, the Bernies, John Witherspoon, and now Tiny, like them niggas showed out.
Yeah. And
like fulfilled like, hey, this is your part, do your thing, and they came and showed the fuck out.
But when you think about a story like Friday, all those people all those roles in the everyday life, those roles in a kid's life or in a teenager's life are big.
Yes.
Like when you think of somebody
that's interesting.
In the story Debo.
Yeah.
When you think about that person, everybody knows a Debo in their hood.
Facts.
And everybody knows how he gets down. And then one day he could be super cool, and the next day he could be ready to rob you.
Unpredictable,
yeah. So it's like them choosing him and how he played the role, like just the way you first seen him when he rode up on the bike. It's like
epic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's all really. When I thought I started to think about that immediately when it's like, what is every, because my mom and I started seeing everybody post. And then the comedian, the young lady from Babs. Oh man, like another one of those memorable roles that I'll never forget. And her role in how to be a player. Like just remembering her as one of those actresses that anytime she's on screen, she was a sister. She was Bill Bellamy's sister in How to Be a Player. Embodied it.
Yeah, you knew she was there.
Wasn't she in Friday too? Or am I tripping?
No, I don't think she was in Friday.
Okay.
Why do I feel like she was in Friday though? No.
Okay.
No, I feel like
No, she wasn't. You got the because she wasn't Smokey's mom.
No.
What age was she have been at that point?
She was young.
Yeah. So no, that wasn't her.
But just excellence and consistency and how it isn't appreciated until it's gone. And sometimes it's undercompensated, if you will. The value of consistency is more so what I think about, and part of the genius of consistency is that it's just consistent, and sometimes you're not even supposed to be aware of it. Like that is the genius. You're not supposed to be aware that this person is great because they just show up, they do their fucking job, they hit it, not just nail it, they hit it out the park over and over again, and you go, oh man, that's dope. Like every time they show up, and that's what I thought about thinking about those two brilliant actors and personalities. They never receive an Oscar or anything noteworthy like that, but they meant so much in the realm and the spectrum of black cinema. Salute to my homie Ryan in Amsterdam. He sent me a Sidney Poitier documentary conversation, and I knew a lot about Sidney Poitier, but I needed to watch that in terms of his genius, right? And so, what was so beautiful, understanding that he was from the Bahamas. I always loved his accent because it's like, where the fuck is he from? Like, speak mad proper and like clear, but it's like almost like it was compensating for something. He's like, yeah, he couldn't really read until he was like 20 something. Like, wait a minute, what? And he only became an actor because one of the few words he could read was in the wanted ads, and it said actors wanted. And he went and showed up not knowing what the fuck it was, and it just so happened to be a reading for something, but they gave him the script and he couldn't read, and bro roasted him about the room, and it hurt his pride as a man, G. And he went, oh yeah, I'm about to prove him wrong. Wait a minute. What? That's what drove you to become the first black actor to ever win a fucking Academy Award? Like niggas just be built different. Way different.
I still believe Will's character in 6 Degrees of Separation that Sidney was his dad. You can't tell me it wasn't. Remember he's telling the family that was what his dad was?
Yeah. See, man, it's just brilliance like that. And so salute, rest in peace, Tiny Zeus Lester, and the impact that you had on black cinema. Like as a director, as a writer, as a film buff, do you feel any what's the word? Do you feel any responsibility to black cinema, or are you just trying to operate in the scope of creativity?
Nah, I do feel responsibility.
You do?
And like, cause one of my favorite movies is by Sidney Poitier, and that's Let's Do It Again.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
It's like, it always holds something special in my heart. Yeah. Like when I seen that movie as a child, growing up, it was like one of those things where it was like, damn, I want to make a movie like that.
Yeah.
Even before I knew I was gonna even start fucking with movies, I always told myself one day I'd make a movie. If I could make movies,
it'd be like that.
It'd be like that.
Yeah. Huh. That's fascinating. I didn't know that about you. I had a similar reaction in terms of just like how it resonated immediately. Like they looked hella cool. They're hilarious. But again, that movie was so old by the time that I had seen it. All of those people had aged in completely different personalities. What Bill represented in the mid '90s versus what he was playing back then. What Sidney Poitier had done by then. Who else is in that movie? That movie's loaded.
Yeah,
when you think about it. Isn't Garrett Morris in that fucking movie too? Like the amount of people that are in that film, you're like, whoa, this is unbelievable. You know, and they've had full lives by then. But I couldn't imagine seeing that movie in real time versus what we were being fed about blackness in the 90s, because it just seemed like everything was Menace, everything was New Jack City, everything was Boys in the Hood. And it's like, yeah, I know a few dope boys, but I ain't really around murder and all that shit. Like, I'm not around none of that. Like, nigga, what happened? Where's the regular, like, black lives shit at? Like, where people are just doing, nigga, Sunset Park came out and was a lifesaver.
Park was that shit.
The Bubble Goose.
Busy.
I knew
Was it Busy Bee?
Busy, yeah. I knew hella niggas like Busy, and I also knew hella niggas like Terrence Howard's character, who was like tired of niggas picking on him and was about to just kill something. Like, bro, how many niggas you know like
about
that?
To set this motherfucker off.
The coolest nigga in the world. I'm tired of niggas making fun of me.
That could be a coach that catch it. That could be a ref. That could be somebody in the crowd. Like
anybody.
At some point, that shit was about to bubble over.
Anybody. Oh! You know who ain't tired of niggas making fun of him? No, nigga. Y'all talk. I want y'all to apologize to me on the show.
Oh yeah, we've been trying to figure out what Money been talking about for the last day and a half.
I won the war. Kevin.
Ah shit.
Kevin Hart.
He's back to first names.
So L and Lex gave me shit for walking my Kev shit back. Cause they swear Kev was responding to me directly for my critiques of his stand-up. And I was like, no way. And the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe he is responding to me.
He hit you with the my bad DM?
No, he hit me with the you're a nobody. I'm not gonna respond to a nobody. Oh, you ain't gonna respond, huh? You might not overtly respond, but you gonna hear these critiques and make the necessary adjustments. That's how I know I won. So I'm watching TV. Like, this is in real time of me texting y'all too. I'm watching TV and I see a Kevin Hart Chase commercial. And I go, oh, this is tight. Salute to Kev. And then the person playing his neighbor pops up and they have an awesome dialogue. I go, man, that was impressive. And I was about to just let it rock and go, damn, that was tight. And then I saw who the neighbor was. Y'all have any idea? Have y'all seen this commercial?
No. I thought you were going to find it and send it to us just to...
Nah, I wanted to wait. His neighbor just so happened to be Neil Brennan. Guess who does guess who gets commissioned to write and direct and produce commercials? Neil Brennan. Who's Neil Brennan associated with?
You already know. Chappelle Show.
Okay.
Better not bring your kids.
So immediately, this is how fast Twisted Brains work. I go, oh man, that was tight. Oh, this nigga was listening. No Plastic Cup Boys in sight for that shit.
Hell no.
All this backlash, y'all let me. See how we start saying niggas start blaming everybody else for their problems. Kevin got all that backlash and went in there and flashed on them niggas. Y'all let me go out like this? They're like, Kev, we tried to tell you that shit was weak, but y'all didn't try hard enough. I'm firing everybody. I'm going to get Neil. That's where my brain went. I went, oh, Kev, you ain't responding to me, little old me. That's a nobody, but you gonna go get the genius behind the genius and see if you can replicate it. And then this is how twisted my brain works.
Oh yeah, Monty was working at
Neil is tired of not getting the credit for Dave, so he's like, I'm gonna make another one.
Oh yeah, Monty Potty.
We just need to leave him in ISO because
That's it.
Hey,
everybody clear the fuck out.
That's what happened, and I went,
this one for it. Me and Lex are opposite corners.
Exactly.
We just waiting for Monty. Hey man, pass to it.
Pass to it. He was like, hold on, let this bitch breathe. Open up the mosh pit.
Open set. Nope, don't even come to the screen. Nah, just let clear out.
I want no screen. Yeah, that's how sick my brain is. And then I immediately was like, let me hit my niggas and tell them, like, just to set this up. Like, this is where my brain is going. I'm telling y'all, that all happened in a matter of seconds that my brain did all of that. I won the war. Because you could say you wasn't listening, but if you go get the nigga that everybody's comparing you to's right hand, then you kind of admitting you need a little bit of whispering. That's weird to say based off your face. It's really weird to say whispering.
That's interesting.
Go ahead.
Nah, you good. But like as much as I respect Kev and like his trajectory and where he is, if that is true, then I would have rather been that he just took it on the head that this whole shit was going on, and he'll be like, I really said fuck it. And like I just dropped that shit because it was a pandemic. Like I was like, bro, I've been sitting in the house for way too long. I was about to drop some shit and let it do some numbers and me get a little bread while I'm sitting in the crib. Because what else am I gonna do? I'm a fucking celebrity. Like when I'm a celebrity, you just do shit. Like it would have been way better than taking this thing so personal that now you about to get your writing off.
Hey,
like my nigga, like bro, stop it.
And you're
not. But no, that ain't your comedy.
Gee,
because Neil might hurt his feelings behind the scenes.
Oh no.
To the point where he's not gonna be able to drop shit. Like Neil gonna be like, no, that don't work.
No,
that don't work. That don't work either.
That's not how that's gonna go.
What's up?
To prove a point. Kev is getting stripped down to ground zero and going through Neil camp right now. And
that's what I'm saying.
His next special is gonna be fire.
That's not him though.
Okay.
That you don't go up to the stratosphere only to be dropped all the way down on your head on ground floor from gravity and then think you about to go back up again. My nigga, just go operate in the stratosphere, bro. Just be like, y'all can't see through these clouds.
To my point that I've been making from rip, it's empty. That level of success is empty.
Completely.
If none of your peers fuck with you,
completely.
If all your because comedy's a lot like rap.
Yeah.
The money is cool, and you can go, oh, I can stand on my wallet. You can say that shit, but then when the fellas just get together and they have comedy camp at Dave's, and then everybody go from Dave's to Rogan, and then you there. And them niggas is holding court, and you can't really hold court like that. Ooh, that sting.
Well, if you're not even there.
Or if you're not even there.
You just liking the pictures on Instagram?
Well, but were you, my nigga, it's the line, bro. You wasn't with them shooting in the gym.
But he was, though.
Huh?
But he was. And
so my nigga been road tripping, like the rest of the group been road tripping?
And he was. And that's why I made the Patrice point. Patrice used to roast that nigga for not being genuine. Like you got a real story and you going away from it. So you see the ones that caught was then he was going with the real stories, but he got the backlash from his ex-wife and everything. It's like, yo, Kev is to me hella funny.
No, definitely funny.
But then getting away from the authentic portion. And so now it's like Dave is getting all this critical acclaim for not even trying to go out and tell jokes. Now Dave is going up there talking now, and there's some part of you that wants that same Dave, bro.
Once again, y'all, you aiming at the wrong stars.
Aiming at the wrong star. That's that.
Like he's aiming at the wrong star. That's the mentality.
That's all.
My nigga, what you should do. Not what I would do, but what you should do.
What you should do. When a nigga tell you not what I should do, hey, not what I would do, but what you should do. Gee, why is that the most authentic shit ever, bro?
Real life, bro. Because I'm just giving an opinion here.
Not what I would do. Not what I would do, but what you should do, my nigga.
My nigga, I wouldn't have gone for the overall success in the first place, but like. Now that you're there and now that you have everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like Dave ain't talking to everyone. You're not about to just like unravel yourself to now start talking to a base now. My nigga, you talk to everyone. So therefore continue to do your jokes towards everyone. Now what you should do is make sure that you ain't doing no more stand-up. My nigga, you should have retired stand-up after your last large stand-up thing that you did.
Facts.
What was that? Unresponsible tour or some shit? You could have ended it right there and just not do no more stand-up and be okay because you got to a certain level of like movie shit that other people would like to do. The only reason why you're even dipping your toe in any of stuff, this is very fucking slimmer, which is unfortunate because he's black. So this is how out of touch you are. This is very similar to like Machine Gun Kelly doing rap and then moving over to like alternatives, whatever the hell he's doing now.
I'm not. Stop. See?
Yes, I am. Yep. See? Yes, I am.
And then I get all the slander for Kev, and then you just call my man Machine Gun Kelly.
Because I don't give a fuck. I could care less.
Lex, you gonna let this fly? If I would have called him If I would have called him Machine Gun Kelly, y'all would have killed me.
I'm just saying, it's very similar. Like, this is unfortunate because he's black. Like, you don't have to unravel yourself to go start talking to a base that don't fuck with you. But, like, just let it be that, like...
G, you just called him Machine Gun Kelly.
But
get what I'm saying.
In G's response, though, he did start off his statement saying, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. So
I'm gonna tell you what you need to do, not what I would do, but what you should do.
This is me managing the situation, bro. Like, like stop thinking about all this. Like,
oh man, that's
if you have everybody's eyes and ears, then why would you now try to slow all of that down and now just talk to a specific base that don't fuck with you?
I'm not fucking with you, bro.
I don't get it. I don't get the mentality.
You saying anything right now? You just called that man Machine Gun Kelly. That's all I can.
But you get why though?
Because you're making a point. You making a point. He's making a great point.
What L's doing is, if Kevin is listening to us right now,
you machine.
Oh, he about to really hate that shit.
He wants to give him an example.
Now we're gonna find out if he's really listening to folks. Because like if he hears that take, he'll be like,
because he has to directly respond to that. It's not. There's no way to generally respond to anything without going, all right, now y'all niggas ain't going too far. I'm on y'all head.
Niggas out here calling you Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh man.
But yeah, nah, for real.
Oh fuck. We love you, Kev.
Very similar to what's the one that did Hannah Montana?
What?
What's her name? The one that was Hannah Montana.
Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus. Very similar to like a Miley Cyrus going and getting what's the name?
Wait, come on. So he's Machine Gun Kelly, now he's Miley Cyrus? Bro.
I'm saying it's very similar.
You done passed the rock. So now we gotta let.
I'm saying it's very similar. If you already have, like people paying attention to whatever character you are, why would you
find
stop?
Mike Will?
Yeah, why would you go find Mike Will to go do this one-off, only for you to then try to backtrack and go back to your other base once you realize that you ain't about to get that much bread. You only gonna get respect and notoriety from that one. Man, my nigga, why would you do that?
It ain't a bag here. I'm out.
That's all I'm saying. I just don't get the mentality behind it, but, you know, I can't say anything about people's, like, need for attention and shit and pay attention. I don't know.
Serious notes. Got a few. FK Twigs files a lawsuit against Shia LaBeouf.
Interesting.
Based off of...
the movie they did?
No, so they ended up dating after that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Talking about they did a movie together?
What?
Yeah, that's a great fucking movie.
Oh, yeah. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they dated and apparently
what Shia do?
Apparently the abuse was real. Yeah.
Mental, physical? Emotional?
More emphasis on the emotional.
Quick, I'll let you finish and then I want it.
And then Sia, the singer, sort of co-signed, not sort of, she did co-sign 100% that's right on par with how bruh be moving. Shia has since released a statement apologizing and taking ownership and all that shit that people do. And some, not all people. So let me not do that. But and let me say
tread.
Nah, fuck that. Ain't no treading. Cause bruh's brilliant and all, but there's just no fly zone for it. For that treatment to women. I'm sorry. Like I know niggas want to hear that, but nigga, if you going through shit and how you deal, how you deal is taking your frustration out on women. I'm sorry, bro. Go sit your whole ass down. Simple as that. Because it's plenty of niggas to keep that energy with that you not keeping that energy with. Like there's more than enough. And based off of how you position yourself, specifically Shia, and his community outreach and wanting to be in and around the hood and where the gangsters at for real, it's plenty of them to have that energy with, as opposed to your woman. Mm-hmm. So, and then, like most, he has the terrain that whiteness allows to issue a statement of apology and then go right back to producing his own products, where he ain't dependent on Hollywood no more, because he saw fit to start producing his own shit earlier. So he not waiting on the next check from Hollywood. He gonna produce his own shit. He's gonna continue to do that. So he really don't have to apologize. And that's the other part that is just a little bit frustrating.
It's crazy how relationships start off of these films.
Oh no, because and then
I know they spend a lot of time around each other during these filmings.
A lot of
crazy
time.
The combos.
Have you seen that film?
Which one?
You've seen it?
Which one?
Honey Boy?
Yeah. Really good film.
Their relation, like, nigga, they made me a believer. That didn't feel like acting. It felt like they really fucked with each other. So I completely get how a relationship.
Oh no, I get how those two can drift to each other off of the intellect part. Like, yeah. I definitely get it. Like, there's nothing to get past, like, how fucking intelligent Shia actually is. Yeah. Like, he's been that way for a very long time, which made him, like, ahead of the times when he was younger, before he did Transformers. Yeah. Like, around holes and all that shit like that. Yeah. Like him.
Right at that transition.
Yeah. So you can see that he was ahead mentally. So I could definitely see how he can do some of the things that will really fuck with somebody else's head if he's fucked up. Yeah. I definitely get that. But not FK, man. Like, I defend FK all the way to the end. I defend women, of course. Y'all know that about me. But FK is a different animal, a different beast to me, personally, so I really fuck with her. So I hate that like, her situations keep coming across this way. And I think that might just be unfortunately, like, the person that she is, like, the people that she attracts. Yeah.
And full disclosure, some of the conversations I had were like, yo, well, you kind of attract what you are. Cool. That's fine. However, as a man, but maybe this is just an ode to being a black man. And again, I've been 100% transparent with how my mother's raised me. There's literally a no-fly zone for that type of interaction or dealing with a woman because of how high the stakes are. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's not. I get it. It's like, oh, well, what if she did this? Do it? Nah, bruh. Like, in life, it can't be such and such did this to me. Because guess what? When you're on trial and they're presenting their evidence, guess what don't count? Such and such did this to me. Like, it's not. It isn't a factor that protects you in your decision making. Like, it's just an accountability thing. And oftentimes, sorry, G. And oftentimes, and what is hilarious is that the men that I've spoken to this week have all said the exact same thing. Man, this is one woman I'm crazy about. And no matter what, when I see her,
love her.
I love her. It's 0 to 100. Like, we literally cannot talk for 5 years. I see her. We're immediately in a relationship. And it ends the same way it does every fucking time. And that happens with people. And I don't know if this has happened to y'all, but every fucking time for me, immediately something happens in the space with the woman where I go, oh, this ain't gonna work. And guess what? I stay and try to make it work because you think you above it not working, nigga. Who the fuck you think you are to try to change somebody? Man, if you don't get the fuck out of there, because then you don't get the liberty to go, such and such did this to me. No. You identified it right away. And this isn't a slight to anybody. This is me talking about me. I've done that so many times, y'all.
Yeah.
So many times where it's like, she bad, the sex is fire, all that shit. But from rip, I go, oh, fuck. Like, and it'll be something as simple as like, just morals is a really weird thing to talk to say, but it is some like moral ground shit where you're like, ooh, you wouldn't do what? That's kind of weird, and we just are on polar opposites about that. So let me let me be cool, and then that be the thing you end up arguing about. You go, well, why didn't you do that? Well, I don't subscribe to that. And you're like, wait, all right, well, this can't work. And maybe even that's shallow slightly, but I feel like it's even more shallow to identify that and to stay and to think you're going to change somebody into what you want them to be. Mm-hmm. That feels insane to me. Or you're going to wait around for them to waiting. I feel like waiting around for them to change is different than you think you're going to change somebody. I feel like that's kind of two different things. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know. But the FK Twigs and Shy thing just it saddened me a little bit because I think Shy is fucking brilliant. This doesn't take away from how brilliant he is, but it also is a reflection of what his whiteness is going to offer him in the space of abusing a woman, but in particular, a woman of color. Granted, FK is mixed and not from the States. That doesn't matter to me. She's brilliant and really one of a kind and unique in that regard. And perhaps she does have some demons that leans towards a toxic space with her and her counterpart. However, I'm just of the mindset that, guess what? That don't matter. As a man, you are obligated to not be so mentally weak as to succumb to abuse because your feelings got hurt.
And I'm so glad that Money said that, because I sometimes feel like I am like living in a twilight zone, that there's so much male defense from other men. Yeah. Like I get it.
Well, what does she do? What?
Yeah, like
nigga, that'll never protect you. Sorry, G.
Yeah, no, I'll just be confused because I think that people start putting themselves in those type of situations. Yeah. And then I get even more confused because I'm like, why do you think that putting yourself in that situation without knowing that individual, thinking that those things are happening on par because of somebody that you're dealing with?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all personalities are not the same. Yep. All women are not the same. All men are not the same. So why do you group them together to have the ultimate defense? Towards, I get it. The women are very smart, like crazy smart when it comes to like, they can in a way do certain things that really tap into your male ego because they know you the best in like what makes you tick.
Yeah.
So that's where they fuck you up at. But when that happens, I really believe that is a learning point for men to then become stronger and figure out why that hits you so hard.
Yeah.
Like that insecurity, why is that touching you so tough? And your rebuttal is to then go at women's insecurity just as like a play on a play because they just fractured your ego. So then you go for the fracture the opposite direction.
Facts.
And then it just becomes this crazy quarrel that y'all just end up in where it's just hurt on hurt. You know what I mean? And don't think that type of hurt just goes away. Like, don't think that if you stay together that y'all could just put that underneath the rug. Don't think that if y'all are no longer around each other, that you don't still carry that with you as like a invisible character that's with you at all times. Don't think that that's not the case either. So when you get into something else or you're dealing with somebody else, that you're not packaging what you just dealt with before in this other individual that has zero to do with it. But like I said, you're putting everybody on the same weight, same scale. So you out here treating everybody as one individual as opposed to each individual circumstance.
Yeah.
But for that in particular, though, that's going on to like this particular situation. That's super unfortunate, but I for sure wouldn't put it as this is something that you are constantly attracting, even if it is. But I would say that hopefully she finds something. She gets to a better place. I don't even know if she's in a bad place, but if she gets into a better place about this particular situation, and that Shai can get whatever potential healing that he needs to get as well.
That's it.
That he's not projecting that onto women. That's the main thing. Regardless, like just women in general. And then also last statement. I think when we interact with the opposite sex or a significant other or another human being, blah, whatever, I think that we factor in way too much how we feel about certain things, not caring about how it affects the other individual, and then not knowing what that other individual is going through as well, that could trigger something else. You know what I'm saying? So like every action does present a reaction.
Facts.
And there are multiple compounded reactions that are attached to an action. Yep. So we have to be a little bit more cognizant that there's hella shit that's going on in the world at the exact same time.
Yes.
Across the board to multiple individuals. So if we do something to an individual that we thought was something on a small scale, if it's just like us fucking with their mind a little bit, which is something that happens a lot between in couples or whatever, or just somebody the manipulation that you're just dealing with somebody. Best believe that we think of it as, oh, they just gonna take that, or if they don't take it, fuck it. And when we break up or whatever, or if we're no longer around each other, our safety net, I believe, is that they're still going to be operating in the world, and we could either pay attention to them operating in the world without us,
yes,
or we can if they're not, if we can't pay attention to them, then at least we have the idea that at least they're still here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But think about, sometimes we need to go a little bit further on that. The manipulation, the messing with the other person's mind, shit like that. What if that individual, that is their last trigger and they're no longer here? That changes a lot on the scale. Man. Best believe. So if you just manipulated somebody and they're no longer here now, best believe that's going to eat you for the rest of your life. Yeah. So I think there's just a lot more that goes into it that people aren't factoring in this whole battle of the sexes.
It's emotional intelligence for sure. And it's, it's not, it ain't easily acquired. It's based off circumstances, upbringing, and what you view. There's so much that goes into it. And again, the hard line on not abusing anybody, but especially women, may sound like zero empathy for Shai or any man in the position. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. It actually is all the utmost empathy, because it's like, hey, cool, I hear all that, but guess what? At the end of the day, it don't matter. So you got to push yourself to do better, to be better, to process in real time as a means to not react and to do something that's going to alter your life because you got your feelings hurt. Think about that, bro. I got niggas that's doing like big time behind they feelings got hurt and they reacted. And now when you didn't come back to, you going, yo, why you in here? And if you being honest with yourself, all you can really say at the core is my feelings got hurt. That's some fucked up shit. And for the life of me, I can't imagine how much of a hole you feel like on the back end, because you go, yeah, my feelings got hurt and I'm in here. Shout out to Black Achilles. Who you gonna be on the elevator of life? Would you rather be Jay-Z or Ray Rice? Like, it's such a bar. Ray Rice's whole life got taken from him because he couldn't just go, nigga, I'm a football player. I'm 3 times her size. Mind you, Hov is in the motherfucking elevator acting like fucking Neo. Ducking everything. All right, bro. You mad? All right. Let's get off this elevator. In the car. She tripping. You know?
52 blocks.
So yeah, so I'm with you, G. I am hopeful that that FKA I'm hopeful that I hope that she is okay, first and foremost, and that she is getting the healing and the peace and the solitude that she needs to then keep creating, because she is an exceptional fucking creative.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Beyond amazing.
Yeah. And I am also praying that Shia finds some healing and some peace that helps him heal, but does not contaminate his creativity. And I think that's important, because the dark side, the reports that Sia have is like, yo, fam was driving around shooting stray dogs as a means to get in the mind of like a killer. Like, that's the type of sick shit she was talking about. Like, he out there for real. And so it's like, yeah, that's kind of trippy.
It makes me also think about, because the movie Honey Boy is supposed to be
The
like
true story, him and his dad, yeah.
And for him to play his dad, and for, as an actor, it's okay to tap into something.
He's a method actor for real.
Yeah, but then you go into a whole different place that he might not have ever resolved between him and his father.
No, he definitely
He didn't. He talks about it. The resolve is in the making of the film. Like,
yeah.
And then even watching it, he's like, yo, that was a healing ass process. Like, bruh.
But then now you've opened up that door of that.
So, to your point, Lex and G, same for you, us as the fans and the consumer, because to me, that's one of the most brilliant movies I've seen in a very long time.
For sure.
Yeah.
But now I'm hearing the reports from FKA. Shia has talked openly about the pain from creating that. Listen to Cudi talk about everything he's dealt with in his creativity. There seems to be a thread between like pain and experience in some of the most incredible art pieces we're talking about.
That's been since the beginning of time, though.
Got you.
Like, I think art is attached to pain a lot of times. Like some of like the best art that we've acknowledged to this point has come from a very fractured human being, and human beings that died at a very young age as well. That's a commonality too, and I think that just comes with the territory, and with I mean, it doesn't have to, but, you know, not everybody is dealing with their shit. And then also, I don't know what dealing with your shit does to your art. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you don't have this amazing talent once you heal yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the reason why most of the world is sick, and they're not trying to actually get healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they have somebody trying to help them out in the process, they just choose not to.
Choose to suffer.
Yeah, choose to suffer. Like, that's a commonality. I think people don't actually, in the heart of hearts, want to be healthy. They want to talk about it, and they want to put it on other people, but they never actually want to do it.
Isaiah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but But also, you got to think about that. I really believe that Shia's intellect is one of those rare airs too. And this isn't like a, you know, Shia on Shia about anything or whatever. But his intellect, I think, is on one of those levels of damn near being a psychopath. And I believe that, because you got to think about some of the psychopaths that we've had over the years, that, you know, if they're a serial murderer, they do like, and it's hella hard to catch them, you know, Zodiac situations. These are high level intellectual individuals that just have this tick. And I think Shia is like on that border as well, given his background. He doesn't have an individual in this. This is a tough situation, but he doesn't have an individual in this world. If his dad is that way, I don't know what his mom's situation is, but if his dad is that way, and that's who he looks up to, but doesn't get like that self-assurance from him, then there's not a human being in this world that he respects.
Yeah.
That's a difficult spot to be in if you have a very high intellect.
Yeah.
There is that. That's just something to point out. So yeah, it could be it could be and it will be a lot worse than just fucking with another human being's brain. Like I think that there's a lot more that you can unravel with there if you don't respect another human being.
Yeah. No, that's where it's kind of where I'm at with it. Just wanting healing for both. And as Isaiah Rashad tweeted, you don't have to sabotage yourself in order to be a creative. You know, there's this running theme that you can only create out of pain and suffering and anxiety. So people are going out of their way to have the 8 Mile story and spaghetti and clothes in a trash bag, and it's like, nah, fam. Like you can be whole, you can be loved. And granted, it may not feel like that's what people want to hear. But I think again, talking about the 250 million people protest, like if we collectively start shifting to expressions out of love and joy and reimagining, especially for Black folks, like white people have been getting to do it from time and time again, just tell normal, funny, seemingly empty stories that just do really well. Jason Braddock played American Pie. What's his name?
Not Bateman. Briggs.
Dude, it's like the whatever anniversary of American Pie, just talking about how normal that was and how lit it was. It's like, damn, I remember that coming out and being a theme, like how everybody was so lit on it. It's like, damn, do we get to just tell normal?
They're on like American Pie 30, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get to just tell Black stories that are just that, or do always got to be written in fucking pain or suffering and all that? And we've talked about it normal time and time again. But in with that, the clip talking about Vlad and Adam 22, and I've seen the Charlemagnes and everybody go, yeah, you can't really blame Vlad. It's grown ass niggas sitting up here telling on themselves. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to say one quick thing about Sean. Did you see or did you hear when he was talking about on Brilliant Idiots when he was talking about that?
Yeah,
Okay, so the one thing that he said in his own spiel was that, you know, he's had people come up to the radio show and he said there's been times where he asked questions and then these dudes answered it, but then he didn't air it. Like he took it out of the interview.
Yeah.
So Vlad and all of them have that same decision too. And they don't do it.
So that's why I'm with you. That's why I said it was disingenuous. Because he went up there and said, it's going to sound like I'm defending Vlad, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And I'm like, come on, Charlemagne, come on, bro. You got to do better than that. You know, you got the Black Effect Network. You claiming to have all this love and claiming because you do. And so you fuck journalistic integrity. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about that. Vlad ain't no fucking journalist. He's become one because he's filled a void and was first to the race in this documentary style. But he has no investment in protecting Black people. Oh, these grown men, they got all the wherewithal. They shouldn't be up there telling on themselves, bruh. To our initial point, if you're attaching growth and monetary gain to coming to sit down on these two platforms specifically, No Jumper and Vlad TV, and people are growing their viewership and growing their followers and then able to tour and book shows off it and sell books and sell merch and sell clothes and whatever their product is that they're pushing at the time, of course they're going to keep going to these platforms if the numbers are significantly larger than if you go sit down with 85 South. Where they not going to ask you no fed-ass questions because they really Carlos and them really fuck with you. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And no, you don't need to apologize. Another thing with that is I can't let Charlemagne keep switching up when somebody's grown and when somebody's a kid.
Thank you.
Because during this whole process with 6ix9ine, he was calling him a kid.
Yeah.
But then now when
Casanova and
or anybody else, because even when Casanova did the Vlad interviews, he was technically a kid by what Charlemagne says.
Yeah.
Or any one of these people. They're not on.
Yeah.
And they're in places where it's like, we have to have a pistol. We have, like...
It's disingenuous, man.
Yeah, so...
It's disingenuous. It's just it's ultimately frustrating. And I brought all that up to say the reports have come out that interviews are being used in their indictment. They don't specifically say Vlad. However, in Casanova's case, if it isn't a Vlad interview, guess whose interview it is?
Adam.
Nope. Ooh. Breakfast Club.
Ooh.
So now what you got to say, right? And I only bring that up to say was like, well, of course they didn't name Vlad specifically, but of course it's the Vlad interviews because Cass ain't running around doing interviews like that, or wasn't. And I don't. It's not a discussion I want to keep having because the unfortunate part about the Vlad shit, and I've said this over and over again, he gets a Rodney Jerkins interview. He's got an Ed Lover interview. He's got a Dr. Dre from the MTV Raps interview. Like he gets the interviews from these figures that normally don't get to share these amazing stories. And I don't want that to be lost on it. But he in the same breath, both he and Adam 22 have personally benefited from kids going up there and promoting the video where they're killing niggas that look just like them in their songs, and he's like, yo, you got 2 million views, that shit lit. And it's videos where they're toting guns with extendo clips. And some of those states, those are fucking, though just the imagery of that alone is a case, right? And so this quote unquote journalistic integrity that he's trying to operate under is bullshit. And then his way of fixing it is bringing said person up there to rehash whatever beef it is, completely throwing out the window how ego and all that shit works. So now they're sitting there bashing the niggas that they're having funk with, knowing that they got to go right back outside and live that life and protect themselves. And you go, yeah, to me, it really ain't nothing to beef over. Ain't no money was lost, somebody died. He has the same sort of spiel in his script that he does. And I'm just like, what is your fascination, bro? Like it's twisted. It really is twisted. And for the Charlemagnes of the world to try to defend it it's just really, really disingenuous. And furthermore, Fab and all these respected niggas tweeting hip hop has become the most dangerous job in the world. Stop saying that stupid shit because it's not true. I'm watching Toby make the best, most beautiful art in the world, bruh, and not be on no bullshit. I'm watching Rex Life Raj get called a fucking preacher on national TV by niggas who are listening to him in the pregame. Like there's beautiful Kariga and Fee and soul development and all the shit that they're releasing. Like, I'm watching some of the most beautiful black art be made. Meanwhile, niggas is going, this is the most dangerous job. And that's not true. But your prophecy and what you're having to kick out because you quote unquote telling your real story, you keeping it real. Yeah, nigga, that's dangerous. Cause it's fuck the other side. I'm smoking on such and such. Guess what them niggas gotta come do now? They gotta come defend that. So it's all really misleading. It's all really misleading. It's all disheartening. Fuck both of y'all.
Fuck with it.
It's all rather disheartening.
That's when you know it's real.
Hey, just imagine how much that just shot up. Everything you just said just made like everybody heard that shit now.
Okay, because I said disheartening.
It's disheartening.
Yo, I'm not fucking with you.
There was probably a group here that like, oh my God.
You feel me?
He said disheartening.
You know what I'm saying? Like now they gotta know what the hell.
Now I can resonate.
Yeah, what is that attached to?
Let me press this 15-second back a couple
you feel
of
me?
times.
Like yeah,
now I can resonate.
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, that's funny.
Nah, but real life, like everything that Manny just said, man. Yeah, like to the T. But that more so makes me think that, like, more than ever, maybe this is the Twilight Zone.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
This might be the Twilight Zone. This is for sure the Matrix. But I think this is definitely the Twilight Zone because everything you just said connected together. And you realize that why the fuck is everybody just so loose of the lips, so loose of the gums? And damn, are people that starved?
Yes.
Like, their communication, without even thinking, they've told everything about themselves to a camera. Not knowing who the hell listening or what the repercussions are for it.
Yeah.
This shit just popped in my head right now. So, going back, people, before phones and shit, like cell phones, people knew in your proximity who you were and how you get down. You don't need to talk to a camera or anything like, nigga, that's such and such and he's a shooter. Then now we get the opportunity to play with the world. And we already talked earlier about how the like and just people viewing you and becoming popular is the drug of all drugs. So then this person is willing to just get the highest of high by going on that camera and saying it, because everybody in your hood knowing who you are and what you do ain't enough anymore.
No.
It ain't.
Local? Don't call me local, nigga. You got me fucked up. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
That's that commercial that I fucking hate. The one where they do like, look at his look at him doing that fashion thing. Fashion? Like, I am the mogul of all moguls. Like, you just don't see it yet. Like, my nigga, if you don't shut the fuck up, like, everybody needing to be like the toughest person in the world. Listen, I'm sorry, none of y'all motherfuckers tough. There's not one of y'all that's tough because y'all not immortal. So ain't nothing about you tough. Like, it may sound tough. You can bump your gums. You can say what the fuck you want to say. But best believe you can be touched.
Dog,
by the lowest individual, though.
The only people who have to abide by that is us, though.
What?
Like, the only people who have social currency attached to appearing tough are black folks, black men specifically. And with that comes the ultimate repercussions, which are either being murdered by someone who doesn't have, quote unquote, the status, even anywhere near the status that you have, or being arrested. It's the ultimate setup. So don't tell me that they don't have to sit up there and do that when you've said it yourself. Charlamagne, I like my rappers to really live what they talking about. What?
But also, who the fuck is Charlamagne? Like, I think we give like individuals way too much fucking like attention. Like, I get Charlamagne's position in the such and such culture, whatever. I get that part. But like, also his opinion. Who the fuck cares?
Nah, I'm not gonna do that because you're ultimately, G, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about ultimately.
Okay.
Whenever I talk, I only talk ultimately.
Okay.
Like, I'm not talking about in this little bubble that everybody wants to live within.
And so I'm talking bubble. You talking?
I'm not talking about this box because people want to say, "Oh, I'm outside the box," but you're not. You abide by all the box's rules. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not here to talk to people that's trying to abide by box rules.
That's real,
my nigga. Like, this is way bigger than that. Like, everything I talk about is way bigger than what this individual bullshit that folks be worried about.
That's real.
Like, you know, like
that's
this Charlamagne shit. Whatever. Who the fuck cares if Charlamagne has a certain opinion about this, that, and the other, and then other people is like, well, he can't talk to me like that, so therefore I'm about to do exactly what he's saying because he had an opinion about what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I find myself getting caught up because I said some shit I wasn't supposed to say. But this whole time you was pulling on my pride, so now I'm locked up because I got pulled on my pride.
Facts.
I'm out here working for free again. Because somebody done put on my pride. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get the mental slavery that we live within.
I love that about you, bro.
I don't understand it.
G fully nuts. He mean that shit too when he say, bro, I'm not talking about this little ass bubble of no entertainment industry. He mean that shit when he say it. And I'm going, nah, I get why Charlemagne's words hold currency. Cause I'm trying to operate inside the bubble and fully empathize and understand and have not benefited from said bubble at all. That's a bar, G. We've had to create an alternate, literally, and when I say industry, I mean that shit, because from the pod, the initial buildings of Brave Area, watching what you guys are doing with LBR, like this nigga Jizzle, I think I've said it to him, but especially the latest run with the merch and now like having him come in here with the music, like whatever is cracked in his brain, and maybe it's things that you've said, he's just on his own type of time. And I feel like that's where the magic happens, where it's like, all right, we'll just make our own. We'll just do it ourselves. And because of the affinity for just seeing, and that doesn't mean it ain't no struggle attached. It don't mean it ain't no suffering and it's no problem solving. I just don't want that to be the currency. And then I don't want people who are others but predominantly white to then be able to benefit off of rehashing the suffering and the trauma. And then some kid go, man, the only way to get on Vlad and to be lit is I got to kill hella people in my music and I got to run these views up real quick and have a gun in my video.
My nigga, wearing $250K worth of jewelry to go to Walmart, my nigga, yes, the rap game is on a fucking platter.
Yeah.
If that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what was the reasoning? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get the day-to-day mentality of who the fuck are you trying to impress?
Y'all know how
I don't understand.
Y'all know how I feel about Griselda. But I'm with you. When he like, I got some shit to get off my chest, it's like I was trying to hear the whole in it, where it was like accountability, responsibility, and I'm like matured, and it almost sounded like a Purple Heart or some shit. It was like, I'm sorry, you're not getting a Purple Heart for wearing $250 worth of jewelry to a Walmart in Houston, nigga. You're food.
In a pandemic. Where the wolves are already down from the mountains.
Come on, man.
They're down. And that's the thing. It's like, for as much as niggas say they be in the hood, you can't be, then you're not separated.
Yeah.
And you understand the wolves is fucking out.
You food. And you not from here.
Yeah.
This ain't Buffalo, fam. This ain't Atlanta where you fuck around at like come on, bro. Like just if you are. So now we're having a different conversation. Cuz I'm of the mindset that if that's what type of time you on, bet that's what type of time you on. So if that's what type of time you on, you moving calculated. Right? And I don't
it also goes back to what Elle said. It don't matter who you are. Anybody can get touched.
Anybody can touch you.
Facts.
But the interesting thing, not funny, but the interesting thing is, you know who should be the highest on the platter that you don't hear too many stories about them getting touched?
Who?
Fucking athletes. Bro, they tell you exactly what they signed for. My nigga, like, this shit happens every single day where they tell you, my nigga, this is what they signed for.
They put their shit all the way out there.
Bro, put it all the way out there. How many athletes are you seeing getting touched? Maybe you should reach out to more athletes and figure out what the hell they're doing in their day-to-day to make sure that they're not getting touched.
Nobody care about that, man. I'm trying to be outside, man.
All right,
I'm trying to live all my raps, fam.
All right, man. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to live all my raps, cuz.
I'm just saying, bro. If you know exactly what I have, then my nigga, then goddamn.
I'm trying to live out these raps. In the context of living out raps, where does Forest Hills Drive rank for projects in the last decade? Did it age the way you wanted it to? Did it have the impact you wanted it to? In real time, what does it mean to y'all, if anything?
I wouldn't say that it has like all that high of a meaning, but I would say it is like one of the better like collection of like music over the last decade. I'll definitely give it there. I like the idea of it just rolling out as opposed to like when it first came out.
Yeah.
It just rolled out as opposed to there being like anything that was released for it prior to it, right?
Yeah.
Then wasn't that like kind of like that Beyonce thing where they just dropped it?
They just dropped it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I fuck with that. I do fuck with this song that's on there, but I wouldn't say it's not damn.
It's not too many things are damn. I wouldn't do that.
No, I'm saying, but that's like something that would have like an impact on.
I see what you're saying, Parama. Where are you on Cole? We don't. I feel like you and I never have very many conversations about Cole.
We don't.
It's for a reason, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave him
But
alone.
it's not that I don't like him, but I guess I'm a pick and choose Cole.
Yeah.
Like some certain things, it's weird because the project that I liked that everybody hated was the one.
For Your Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for
we've
your eyes
we've had
Forest Hills.
interesting conversations about that album. That album is special.
Yeah, like
Did that touch you different as a father?
yeah.
Okay.
And so
that makes sense.
And like when I was trying to talk to, I thought, I'm finally gonna be able to connect with like they was killing me. Oh, how do you like that? I was like, this is a excellent body.
Yeah,
of work.
that was more of a post for me personally than Forest Hills was.
Yeah.
You know, Forest Hills is like critically acclaimed by folks. I guess.
So Cole stands got their panties in a bunch because they were expecting new music, and all
KOD was even more of a level for me. So you go, my bad.
All the Forest, they were expecting new music, and instead they got a re-release of all the Forest Hills assets, and
that's a pandemic move. We're finding out.
that's a real pandemic, a player pandemic move. Shout out to Cole, shout out to Guwap, Jeezy, all the niggas re-releasing shit in the pandemic. It's pretty impressive.
Outkast,
Stankonia.
What y'all want?
Was it the 20th anniversary? Stankonia been out 20 years? No. Yes.
96?
No. Stankonia was 2000. Yeah.
2000.
Holy moly. Woo. Yeah, salute. Yeah. So never mind. Oh my gosh. I feel ancient. I felt the way about Forest Hills in real time. I thought it was cool. It's like, that's cool. Also, some personal shit attached to that I'll say for a later conversation. And so watching the videos be re-released and then watching them again, I was like, ooh, this ain't aged well. And it wasn't that long ago. But I also feel like that about a lot of my own stuff too. So it's not a diss to Cole or nothing like that. Just like, it's something to be said for shit that ages well. It's something to be said for that. But then once I moved past all that, I landed at a place of, damn, this is what you invest in. You invest in being able to retain the ownership of your IP so that at any given time, you could do whatever the fuck you want with it. Then I was back at salute my nigga, because he saw this play. They made the necessary adjustments. They made the necessary investments. The dollar, what's the president of Dreamville was on one of my favorite podcasts, but he was talking about the Dollar and the Dream tour and how much money they lost on that shit. He said, but
is that the one Forest Hills was on?
no, that was Dollar and the Dream was
the mixtape Dollar and the Dream.
Yeah, but the tour wasn't for the Dollar and the Dream. The tour was for, was it Friday Night Lights or after? No.
It was for.
He was doing Dollar and the Dream for that.
It wasn't for a Sideline Story. What was after Sideline Story?
Nice Watch.
No,
That was
Nice Watch was on Sideline Story.
for Silent Story. Okay.
Born Center, right?
Born Center.
Yeah.
I might have this shit all confused, but whatever the Dollar and the Dream tour was for, whatever record it was for, they just bit the bullet and took the L. But what the point that he was making was like, we took the L, but we were able to double up and do multiple shows in some of those cities.
Building the base.
And building the base. And so every time they drop something, whether it be a piece of merch, whether it be introducing a new artist, they can bet on that base to support what it is that they did because they invested in themselves early. And I just thought it was a beautiful bar. I thought it was beautiful insight, and I was like, damn, they get it.
It was Born Center.
It was Born Center. Okay. I just really appreciated that about them. And so when you go, whatever the business was behind them retaining the ownership or whatever the business was of Forest Hills. Like, that's what people don't get. When videos get taken down and songs get taken down, they're like, yo, what's happening? What's happening? Some business is being done and something's being worked out and they're trying to figure it out. And so once I worked through how I felt about Forest Hills, I was like, oh, some big business got done and some lit shit is about to happen for Cole and Dreamville. And so on that alone, fuck what the music is. Salute my nigga for being a visionary. Salute him for putting an awesome team together in the production company because they about to turn shit up.
Oh yeah, he has Jid and Earthquake. He's gonna be all right.
Oh my gosh, man, Mariba, that whole squad is just beautiful. Ari, we love you, Ari. What else we got, man? Y'all want to do white privilege or y'all want to do?
Ari getting ready for our next round?
I hope so. That woman is so amazing. Gosh,
are they gonna be attached to each other like for the rest of their careers?
Cole and Ari?
No. Ari and what's the other? Never mind. I don't want to do that right now. I had that thought.
Oh, Ari and Summer?
Summer and then the other one too.
Summer, Ari. Who? Snow?
No. Snow's different. I have to put that thought out better.
Okay.
I don't want to just drop it like that because it's gonna be real disrespectful, unfortunately.
Okay. White privilege or vaccines? Or is that kind of the same thing? It's kind of the same thing. Kind of. My brain's twisted. I can make sense of it. L asked, do we think all races are receiving the same vaccines, right? Mm-hmm. I worded that right?
Yeah. Just a question for the group. Because I want to get, well, this is going to be just from one perspective, I guess, because we're an all-black, all-male staff. But
as a record label, as a crew, as a staff.
As a staff, you feel me? Nah, but I just wanted to get y'all take on, because the trucks left the compound.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the year, folks supposed to start taking them.
Like a Jordan drop.
You feel me?
Line up around the block.
You feel me? But like, you know, around vaccines,
it's crazy.
Nah, it really is though. it's limited. That price gonna go up. Nah, but seriously though, for the group though, I just wanted to see like what everybody's mind was on like vaccines in general, and if you believe that everybody receives the exact same vaccines per se, or if you have like the same response to vaccines or shit like that. So,
this might sound really ignorant. I do not believe it's a race thing. I do believe it'll be a demo and a class thing. So how I imagine that going is by county. So if you go, these schools are better in this county. You guys just purchased a home. You're in real estate. For the life of me, and this probably will sound ignorant too, I didn't know that home searches were as specific as letting you know where your school district ranked. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was a thing. Mm-hmm. Blew my fucking mind. So if that's how specific we're getting, how specific can we get for real then? I don't know. And so when you asked that, G, that was the first thing I thought was like, well, shit, maybe this is as specific as like counties and demos and what the school rankings are and shit like that based off what type of vaccine, which of the vaccines will be administered to said county, to said demo. That's just where my brain went.
Yeah.
If the black and brown people make up the counties and the districts, make up a larger part of the counties and the districts that have the schools that perform lower, are where the poverty is focused for the most part, then it makes sense that they will receive a different type of vaccine. and that the side effects might be significantly different than the one being administered in other districts and other counties. It's just a really shitty, dangerous game that there's part of me that has just endured and experienced so much. It's hard for me to not have questions. I'm 100% open to not being right and sounding foolish and needing more information. But from everything that I encounter and research on my own, it looks even shadier and shadier the more I begin to understand. It's not doing the reverse. It's not putting me at ease by any means. I'm more frustrated. I'm more confused.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting the relationship that different races will have with like medical fields in general. So overwhelmingly, Black people will not have a good relationship with doctors. And overwhelmingly, white people would. And that's by design. That's not by mistake. And don't for a second think that the treatments are the same. Because first it'll go by race, and then it'll go by class, and then it'll go by income, and then it'll go by all kind of things that stack up. That'll be a list of things that you check off the list on if you are going to get the proper medical treatment or not.
Yeah.
As far as like trying to save your life,
yeah.
You know. So I don't find it far-fetched for a vaccine to operate in the exact same context. That's before getting. That's just me being. Like not having any belief in the system and whatsoever. Yeah. But that's before you even get to the biology of it and like people having different chemistry inside of them and how your reaction is to different things. Like that's before even getting to the nuances of that. It's literally being the first ones off the truck. Is everyone getting the exact same one? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there two that's coming out? Like when the trucks are coming out, is there one that's the actual vaccine and then there's a placebo? Like what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? And that's not something that's just me. That's not me putting people into any type of frenzy or anything like that. But it is something for you to think about when it comes to these type of things. Like, you know. Just think about our relationship to this point with the medical field.
Nah, man. What do you as a? And forgive me for bringing it up, but it's something that I think about, like with your child in school. Like, what the fuck do you do?
I'm still trying to figure
it out. Yeah, that's what a lot of parents are saying. There's
like it's fucked up because. You know, she does school from home.
Yeah.
And it saddens me because she can't be around other kids.
Yep.
But
she's so social, bro. It's like
she can't help it.
She's social with adults, so I imagine she's just the life of the party with her peers.
Yeah, so it's like she doesn't get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, at least I know you're protected.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about earlier with teachers and shit going on like that.
Yeah.
So that part does ease my mind.
Facts.
But then, like I said, her not being social with other kids her age and being able to make childhood friends and whatever.
Yeah. It's an interesting time. I'm curious to how this story of 2020 and beyond will be told. We learned a lot about our government, our economy, our neighbors. We've learned a whole hell of a lot. So I'm just interested on how it'll be told, right? Because I remember in school learning about the influenza and the Great Depression and all this shit, right? And you like, man, that sound crazy. That ain't gonna happen to us. Nigga, what? and to be in the midst of one. What was it? The First Depression was 1920, right? Well, not the First Depression, but the Great Depression was 1920, I think. Yeah, I feel like it was 1920.
Something like that.
Yeah. But reading about that and and what was cultivated out of it. So prohibition and the number of runners and the liquor and the underworld, the black market, and how shunned upon it is, but how similar the parallels are to right now, right? Where they're figuring out what weed will mean coming out of this. It
was the 1930s.
Oh, 1930s, my bad. What weed will mean coming out of this, I can't help but think what liquor meant during the Depression and what it meant coming out of it and how dependent the economy was on libations post the Depression, and what it'll mean coming out of this versus like what people have been sentenced to for petty weed crimes and possession crimes and shit like that. Bruh, it's impossible not to jumble all of these thoughts together.
They're not excusing that. I don't care what anybody say.
No. I'm with you that they're not. But
not if it already happened, even if it's legal all across the board. If it already happened, in their eyes.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're in there for petty weed cases, then you in
the
system, bro.
Sheesh, man. Yeah. But the race debate and the privileges, it all broke down. So I was pretty stoned, I must say. And Home Alone 1 came on. And bang for my buck, Home Alone 1 is OG the best, but I get why people say New York is better. Yeah, whatever. I give y'all that.
Oh, number 2?
Yeah. But I'm watching it.
Number 2 just for the wait. No, that was number 1 that had to do with the shovel, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, that's the better one. Because number 2 was the one with the lady with the birds.
The birds, yeah.
Yeah, no, number 1 for sure.
The pigeons. I'm watching it and I'm going, yo, fuck being woke, because wokeness is not about to ruin Home Alone for me. And I'm going, man, this has got white privilege written all over it.
Hey, just keep in mind, Monty went down my rabbit hole and I was watching Breaking Bad and watching Dexter and like thinking about white privilege all throughout the damn show. Like, bro, this shit ain't great, bro. This motherfucker got lucky as hell.
Yeah, this is pure luck to be left at home. Nigga, what? Hey.
Nah, but to be left at home and be okay, because you never thought you was in real danger.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Like, damn near the people breaking in was helping them the whole time.
Gee, do you know that if my mother had saved up for a fucking trip to anywhere, but let alone to Paris, my little black ass was going to be at home by myself for 2 weeks. Like, I'm not coming back. Hey, Mondo, you good? Like, that's literally what it would have been. Like, all right, bro, we be back. You should have woke up. Like,
give my man 6 cases of top ramen.
Hey,
you got water in the faucet, bro.
There's ramen in there. Auntie and them upstairs. She gonna bring you some food, but we out. Like, you just missed out. My mom wasn't. What? Nah, I had a good time. I was like, everything can't be ruined by white privilege. Fuck out of here, because this is a great movie. Like, that's not. I wouldn't want to let that happen.
I was got the DVD or the VHS sets for you.
Oh, nigga,
like, entertainment gonna be all right.
I was set. I would have been set.
Entertainment gonna be okay.
I would have been set, man.
So you saying that? What about Home Alone was about to ruin some shit?
No, that's what it was. It was like getting close. Like, that's how high I was. I was like watching. I was like, fuck Kevin McAllister. Like, what? He just at home having fun and shit, and you want me to feel bad for you? And then I got mad because his mom was like stressing. Meanwhile, this nigga kicking it. Like, and then that's when it dawned on me. Like, Didi would have just left me, bro. Like, you would have just been left.
I mean, she even had to sell to the devil.
Where'd they go in the first movie?
Paris, right?
First movie was Paris?
Yeah.
They took that big ass family to Paris?
To Paris.
That's
what I'm saying. That's pretty. See what I'm see? All that shit.
Did you guys ever hear all the dark stories that people connected with Home Alone?
No.
It's like the Rugrats ones?
Like the dads in the mob. and that's why he had the money.
To take everybody. Yeah.
The mom sold her soul to the devil.
Oh Jesus!
Because when she was at the airport, she was like, "Even if I have to sell my soul to get back there," then John Candy Fox, like, "Hey!" And then they're in the van playing the.
No, they're in a U-Haul.
Yeah, playing the instruments, and that's supposed to be
a seance.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
That is priceless.
I see how they got there.
Oh man,
I see it.
What do we have? Oh, this is one we missed it last week. Salute B, he brought it to my attention and I forgot about it. And L brought it up like midweek, and then Steven Jackson brought it up. Really,
I just said because somebody got to talk about that.
Talking about the rapper chasers, man, and not when they're talking about women either. grown ass niggas giving each other birthday gifts and shit. It sounds like some hating shit.
It was the way the gift was given.
G, I love you, but if you ever show up to my birthday party with a bag full of honey buns, I'm gonna fight you.
Hey, remember though, like I was really sad. Like after I saw that shit, I was like, it didn't just stop there. Like that's when the camera shut off. Like I feel like there was a lot more gifts given. Because if you're giving that up, then I think that there's definitely like that was phase one. And don't ever phase one, phase two your nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like don't give them gifts in phases.
Well, because and the reason I don't necessarily know what to say because it's a positive exchange between black men. No matter what the material stuff symbolizes, it could be worse. Some niggas could be funking, talking crazy about each other. So, how much cash did he give him? I'm sorry, for people that don't know, James Harden showed up to Lil Baby's birthday party and gave him a bag full of cash, bag full of honey buns, and a watch.
And the bag.
The bag itself. Because it wasn't just a regular duffel bag. Like he didn't bring the bag he gets from the Rockets just for free. It wasn't just one of them. Like, hey yo, put all that shit in my gym bag. Nah, it was a custom luggage.
And an all expense paid trip to the islands.
Are you making this up?
Huh?
Are you making this up?
For sure.
Okay.
But I think that you should just continue to go
just
on.
keep exaggerating.
Whatever else you're going to put in there, bro. Insert something else. Dude.
But I feel bad because I don't know why it bothered me. And so that feels like some hating shit. But if Steven Jackson feels the same way, if L feels the same way, if a few of the other homies feel the same way, I feel like I'm not hating as much, but I still don't have a reason as to why the imagery of it bothered me.
That's what I'm saying. It's imagery. It has nothing to do with the actual items themselves. It's like, nobody give a fuck about that. It's the imagery.
But imagery is so broad and I'm protecting myself when I say imagery because I don't know how to explain it past that. Can you?
All right, so the imagery on this one, besides the fact of just like how gifts are given, and like you can give gifts all you want. I think the filming of giving gifts is
so you literally mean imagery.
Is weirdo behavior. Yes.
Gotcha,
like the whole video of I'm giving this gift to you for such and such reasons, whatever. I don't give a fuck what that is.
And I'm gonna film it.
And I'm gonna film it.
And
all while needing to be somewhere else is like something that is like completely beyond me. So I get why they actually I get the reason why they filmed it was because of this whole contract thing. So I get they're trying to get out of Houston and shit like that. I get that part of showing like I'm just bucking this complete system.
Yeah.
But in all, theory wise, I don't get the the filming of shit in particular. And I think that Baby would have had a different feeling about it too if he wasn't as on as he was.
Yeah.
Like it'd have been like, bro, get that camera off me.
So it was a leverage play. I got you. I see. I'm rolling. There's other elements to it too that I have not worked out. I didn't care for it. It wasn't a most player move.
No, it's weirdo behavior. But what Steven Jackson was talking about though, they're talking about the basketball element of things, or just like the idea behind the first time them having a black coach and like the type of opportunities that black coaches receive.
The limited
opportunity, and then even the opportunities that they do receive. Like if you look at shit, how nice of a coach the coach is for the Miami Dolphins. That came from the Bill Belichick group of coaches, and he got the Miami Dolphins after Adam Gase. Who Adam Gase, as soon as he put the Dolphins in the slum somewhere, he immediately got a job with the Jets, and look at where the Jets are.
Exactly.
So that's the privilege that we talk about they're working in, and we're trying to retire the word privilege, but that type of shit that works in, and then they have to put a Rooney Rule in order for black coaches to get their jobs and shit like that.
But what I would ask what I would ask Steven Jackson and other people is the smoke with the organization ever, can you ever look past that in the name of standing in solidarity with your people? I'm asking y'all. I know how I would answer. What would you say?
It depends on the situation. Like, what's the smoke? Because it sounds like, and this is just me from the outside looking in, I'm not actually there in the room, so of course I wouldn't know what the fuck they're talking about, but it sounds like you took from underneath the individual that is the franchise player, you took their style away.
Yeah.
Because if you no longer have the coach, you no longer have the GM that styled this entire system that we have for like the last 7 years, then you feel like, oh, I'm going to get up out of here too, because y'all not going to play like how I want to play, which is just dribble, dribble, dribble. Mm-hmm. That's what it seemed like to me. But I think some things do supersede that, and the whole idea of like, I got 2 years and I'm about to dip over to the Nets. I get people trying to strong arm situations, but if this is the first time that I have like a black coach in this particular situation, then let me at least go see what the fuck is what they talking about. Yeah. And I just saw the Rockets playing.
I watched them last night.
Them niggas is balling.
They look good. Yeah, DeMarcus, John.
House. My thought process. My thought process with this one is okay, bet. And that's how what's the name was? How the one that got all the shoes?
Who?
One is like a sneakerhead. That's
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker.
Yep.
That's why PJ Tucker came to the interviews about that shit. Like, nigga, is he here? I'm talking about PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I think the best move is we gonna get you up out of here.
Are we?
It ain't gonna be the place that you want to go to.
Have we? Again, and this is why I just don't. We in the studio often. Mm-hmm. The guys just start talking sports, and it's no offense to nobody. It's like niggas ain't play for real. So I just stop talking at a certain point because it's all emotions and it's not real logic. Like their disdain for LeBron doesn't allow them to talk about just basketball. It's always emotional, and I'm like, I'm really not about to have this conversation with y'all then.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody say. We've never had what LeBron's doing. Ever.
And so just that alone. So when I'm watching James Harden, I'm thinking about OKC, the original iteration of OKC, Serge Ibaka, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. And that and how Sam Presti and them didn't even allow that to, like, they immediately moved off that shit. Was like, we can afford to break this up. Mm-hmm. All right, something's not right per se there then.
Yeah, but what does it mean for Oklahoma to get a championship?
See what I'm saying?
Like, we don't need no championship in
Oklahoma City. So we're talking. So
what's our parade gonna look like?
Since we're talking big business and just the optics of winning, all right. James Harden is a really fun piece to watch. He can average 30. He's amazing to watch, but it's not conducive to no real winning for real. Mm-hmm. You know, so all right. Well, I don't know. It's just the way I perceive it, and so I say all that to say, while I would want him to show up for a black coach, there was no part of me that expected him to. No. There was no part of me that expected him to go, oh, man, we got a black coach. It's about to be lit. PJ Tucker, however, you know where PJ Tucker from? Oh, I expected him to show up.
Yeah,
Everybody's like, oh, he tied to James. Fuck no. PJ Tucker is that nigga for real.
completely.
You know, so it's just one of those things where it's like I'm not disappointed and I'm not surprised because I just didn't expect him to be on that type of time. There's no offense to him. I really enjoy watching him play, but as an individual, it's whatever.
Yeah, neither for me either. Like it wasn't like it swayed my attention at all. But like the funny thing is that I think certain players are going to find out how much of, and Monty said it, how much of a piece you actually are to these franchises. Yep. Like he was trying to strong arm going to one team, and now he's opened that door to 6 other teams,
and it'll be 12 next week,
bro. Like you showed your card,
yeah,
and there's only one individual in the world that can pull off these cards, and they don't do it in public.
Yeah. And not like this. It's just tact. It's tact, and you thought posting, handing the nigga some honey buns was gonna help in your leverage, and it was a leg sweep. So handing a nigga some honey buns is crazy to say.
That's what I said.
Luka Doncic.
Luka nice, man.
Luka cold.
Luka nice.
Luka cold.
Nah, but I was just peeping it, man. Getting a head start.
Skip
is looking at the next 15, 20 years of his life.
Trying to keep it lit.
Hey, just like the NBA, it coincides with the NBA. NBA is trying to figure out who they're going to pass this torch off to because Bron is in those upper years, and he probably got a good 3 or 4 left of being around if he wants to.
Yeah.
So then you got to pass that torch, and they've tried it with Zion. They tried it with the Greek Freak. They tried it with all these different players, right? The Beard, the skinny sniper, whatever the hell they called him. They tried it with all these different people. With Steph, they tried it with different people. But it's gonna be Luka. There's nobody that's marketable like Luka. And nobody got the game like Luka.
Because I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
However, can the NBA afford for a foreigner to be the face?
What? The NBA would love for that to be the case.
Really?
Get this international bag.
Huh.
Super international bag. And then have the Americans that respect the fuck out of his game. Like, that's really what it's going to be. Because at some point, it's going to be undeniable because it's only going to be, I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be very soon.
Yeah.
Either this season or the next. I hope it ain't this season because that's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But at least by the next season where he's going to be calling his shots.
Yeah.
And telling you exactly where he's going. And try stopping it. I dare you.
I'm excited because he's with the owner.
Yes.
That's big time baller. Like, all right, bro, what we doing? Like, Mark ain't gonna be afraid to spend no money, and so he couldn't be in a better place. Had he been anywhere else that wasn't, L.A. or shit, it's probably to be honest, it's probably the only place that makes sense to be in Dallas with Mark Cuban. Because anywhere else, there ain't an owner that's on that type of time. Like, fuck it. What's the luxury tax for real? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, the Clippers. Maybe the Clippers too.
Clippers don't give a shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So he needed to be with an owner that was going to spend that bread and run it up and try to attract other pieces. Too.
The Nets don't care either. And the Nets has a newer owner too that has in his pockets too.
I hope that's right.
He wouldn't go over there, but I was saying they have an owner as well. That's that way.
I hope that's right, but I'm something about even they whole setup got me feeling weird, and I hope I'm wrong because I want them to be good so bad, but I don't. Something about it is missing for me.
Yeah,
when it comes to the Nets,
you different than me. I got that as like the top 2 cat teams.
Oh, cats, yeah.
I got them and the Clippers on like very high on the scale of cats.
No, that's what me too. Like I don't see
like those personalities try to mesh. They gonna be tearing locker rooms
apart. Like
if they got one real one on their team, that real one is gonna have either pull his hair out or choke the fuck out.
And that's what Montrez was doing. He's like, bro, wait a minute, like this isn't right. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. Like, this ain't how it's supposed to go. So that's what I'm curious to see how both of those are going to play out locker room wise. Last thing.
That was on this episode of Hoops Soaps.
Breakdancing added to the 2024 Olympics.
It's lit.
Sarah Fuller.
Yeah, I gotta give her just.
Sarah Fuller. What's Sarah Fuller?
Now, Sarah Fuller was who I was talking about when I didn't even give her a name last week, so my bad, Sarah. But she was the one that was doing the practice shots from the practice kicks from damn near the end zone for the game for Vanderbilt. So,
we for sure didn't name her. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't name her because I thought that it was patronizing, like for them to even do that.
Oh,
so this week she kicked the extra point. She made it. Good job. So I wanted to give her at least those flowers.
At least those flowers.
She kicked it. She made it. Good job.
Yeah. If we ever showed our sort of like male privilege at all, it was right just then because I didn't know who the fuck you talking about, and this nigga said, at least those flowers. Next subject. Who's next?
For real.
Do we want to talk about the Olympics and breakdancing, or because I knew that was coming? Just because I got lucky and met DJ Flow, and he put me on a record that went around the world, and it was breakdancing competitions and shit. And it was like, yeah, that's just gonna be in the Olympics in a few years. So
that's what's up.
Yeah,
I would love to see like how that's gonna lay out, but that it's interesting.
But they've been doing competitions for years, so they've got a system.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Like world breakdancing competitions are insane. Like if y'all ever, I'll send y'all the video. Like the Reloaded song, it's got like something crazy amount of plays because it's been played in several competitions, and it's an international thing. It did, like they do it in the States, but it's nowhere near on the levels that it is in the Philippines and the UK and like Brazil and shit like that. Like the way they do it in those other countries are insane, bro. So
you got to bring your own cardboard.
I laughed because I was thinking that the whole time you was talking.
But that's why I thought you were looking at me because you were really interested and fascinated. But you over here thinking about cardboard too?
Like I was just picturing the Olympics started and then you just bring it out.
Like I don't feel like it's authentic enough if they
don't have no cardboard.
Yeah, if they got the Olympic style cardboard and shit.
Y'all
bro,
are
you gotta bring your own shit,
bro. Sick. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I find it interesting though that lets you know like where the Olympics is now. Like I fuck with them adding that as like an event, but the reasoning behind it was because they needed a younger and they needed a certain base to pay attention to the Olympics, and they felt as if they weren't getting that. Which led me to think like, what the fuck events are at the Olympics now? Like I know they still running. I got that.
They're still flipping on the horse.
Still jumping on shit.
What's that shit? Curling.
That's winter though, right? That's winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I don't know any of the winter
rings?
sports. I don't know any of the winter ones.
The rings.
Oh yeah. That's straight all core.
The joust.
Swimming.
The joust. I think that's the one when they get the stick and like
The joust. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. Who knows, man? I don't know.
They need to do the one they used to do on horses, like the one that what's name was in.
What? What's that shit? Polo?
Nah, the one when they stick it in your chest.
Oh, that is jousting.
That's jousting.
That's jousting? Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Then what's the pole jumping?
What's the pole one?
Pole jumping?
Yeah, we don't watch it there. No wonder they're getting breaking. That's all event I can name now. Yeah, but bring jousting into that thing. I'll watch that. I'll definitely watch some people run on horses and stick that into their chest and shit.
Yeah.
I haven't done enough research to find out how terrible that probably is. But hey, we used to do that shit in the hallways in the dorms. We used to get like people on opposite ends of the halls and get the rolling chair, and then you got the broomsticks, and then you got to roll the person down the thing, and then whoever get knocked out the chair first is a loser. Yeah, we almost killed some people.
It's mostly like broken ribs and splinters in the eyes.
That's it.
I wanted to end on this because I thought it was a really dope conversation started. I wanted to understand where you were coming from, Lex. You asked, when did you realize you don't really need to know shit? and to grow and needed to grow knowledge. Or did I ask that right? Did I say that right? Or was that a question somebody posed?
Nah, it was like, because like I've been thinking about the conversation we had on the pod a little bit ago, and Elle was talking about how when you're young, you think you know shit.
Yeah.
And even more, I started thinking about last pod when Elle was breaking it down even more about how older people know the shit that we think we know. How did you word that shit? Because it was so.
Yeah, it was sort of like
It was last week.
Yeah.
That was what'd you say? Because I thought that was dope too. The how do you word it? He said elders not having more information, but having more information about the more information that we have.
So that carried on to me trying to figure out when I personally finally hit me like, I don't know shit. And I need to start learning knowledge. Because knowing shit and having knowledge is two different things to me. Knowing shit is just like on the smallest scale. It could be even like fucking a pound to 16 ounces or something like that. And you thinking you know some shit. Like, oh, I can eyeball a pound or something. Just knowing shit like that. But then having knowledge is being able, like some of the shit that I can talk to my daughter about and break it down to all the way to her age. And so she gets a really clear understanding and being able to have that knowledge to then give it to somebody who may be younger than me. They understand it and then they can utilize it in their life to help their life. So then it made me question, like, do you guys remember when it came to that age where you guys are like, wait a minute, I need to start figuring some real shit out because right now I just know some bullshit.
Damn, I think I'm still kind of in the process of learning that, like not being hella attached to being right. You know what I'm saying? Because it, you know, when you arguing with your boys and you debating and you know, part of that emotion is like needing to be right. But I can honestly say it began with our day one sponsor, Morgan at Northwest Pizza. Like, scholarship check was running out, and you don't get a stipend during the summer. So the lease was running out on my apartment, so I had to pack everything up. Most of the shit I just sold or gave away. And then a few friends had garages that I could put shit in, but I was living out the Delta. And I was working at the club at nights and met Morgan literally, bro, he just showed up at the club one day and was like, I fuck with you. And like just took me in. So we got cool. And he found out about my situation. And his daughter was just about to graduate. And he was like, yo, I got an empty room. Like, it's good. And I remember moving in there and knowing, bro, but in the process of getting to know him, being like, bro, you know hella shit. Like a lot of shit. And just being hella fascinated and listening, but also watching him when anybody else would speak, like people that he respected, and he always just shut up. Like, it was impressive. Because he always had a lot to say until people were talking, and he would just be quiet. Like, God damn. And he even did it with me. He would let me talk. And then eventually let me stumble on like how either rooted in ego my stance was, or how I was just missing the point of something, you know? And so over time, and that was the beginning of it. And granted, here we are, whatever it is, 10 years removed from that, 11 years removed from that, and I'm still learning day by day. Like, bro, I don't know a fucking thing. And being open, like literally having the courage to be like, I got that wrong, or please tell me more. And this goes all the way back to being a kid and hearing your teacher say something. And I used to get so jealous, G, by like how fast the other kids would raise their hand to answer, because I never had that in me. There's not a single day of school, y'all, that I can remember going, ooh, 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 pick me, because I knew the answer. I always was like, I would answer it in my brain and then immediately second guess what I had just come up with and never raise my hand. And I think about that and it's like, shit, what is that attached to? Some sort of trauma somewhere along the way where I started to second guess myself. And as you mature, you become hell bent on never feeling like, I ain't gonna never feel like that again. I'm gonna know everything. And so what the pendulum did over the years was swing to the whole opposite side where I had to defend every fucking thing I thought because I was compensating for that 6-year-old version of me that was still thinking about not getting to raise his hand. Missing hella lessons in the middle, bro. Like hella real, like being, like having access to some of the most incredible people. I think about grandma. I think about G, and just how much game. And so I got to the point where even being around her, I just was shut up. But I learned that. I learned the beginning stages of learning that was from Morgan. So I'm still in the middle of it personally. And even with the show does a really good job of that. It's like fact checking too, because it's a public show. Like people watch it, so you can't just be sitting up here spewing shit. And you're like, you better have your facts right. So even you guys do a really good job of coming in with like actual numbers and analytics, so we don't be sitting up here just saying bullshit. And then even when we do get something wrong, the listeners are like, they fuck with the show enough to be like, yo, fam, you got that wrong, and then have a discussion about it, because it's like, that's not the point. The point isn't to have this thing where it's like it's always right. That's what I mean. I genuinely mean that, where I'm like, yo, I'm open to having that wrong because there's so much to acquire. That's all. My bad. I was talking real long.
No, you're right.
Nah.
That's what he was asking for. That's a great question, because I think what we're referencing is like being able to package it. You know, like I think that you have these thoughts, but you don't know how to communicate them. So getting to the point of being able to communicate them is that point of like knowledge. Because what tends to happen is that the people that have less knowledge talk the most. They tend to continuously speak, and not allow other people to talk. Because they don't want you to get to the point of calling their bluff. You know what I mean? You just have to out-talk the next man, you know? But with knowledge, you start understanding like a lot of the responsibility that comes with it, how you present it, when you present it, who's listening, who needs to hear it, who doesn't at any given point. You know, so I think there's a lot of other factors that started coming into play when you start to gain a little bit more knowledge. I don't think you ever are the most knowledgeable person about all things. Like that's never going to happen. You're never right about every single thing. Shit, you barely right about most things because like the way information goes, the way information is, the shit's everything's made up. Yeah. Like everything that we know to man to this point has been made up by another man, another woman over time. And we just like get more ingrained and more, we just refine it better as the years pass. So I think that's really all that it comes down to. But like what Manny was talking about with when his moment was, I'll say mine was, really when I broke my back. Like I think that was like the moment that it hit me that shit, like I can't continue to survive off of just like physical talent anymore. You know, like it wasn't operating that way. And it took me back to when I was a child. I probably stopped like using intellect, like just literally overthinking or putting everything into that type of context and using it that way. Shit, probably after the 5th grade, like once I hit the 6th grade, man, my intellect was like survival on the streets. Like the to and from school was my intellect being used.
Problem solving.
You know what I mean? Like problem solving, you know what I'm saying? But like actually in school, my nigga, like I knew everything. Was I trying it? Nah, bro. Like I have a talent that gets me by. So I'm utilizing that throughout this time frame. Like when I got to high school, for sure talent. All that shit I'm using, right? Like I'm at one of the smartest high schools you can be at and doing just fine in it, but also not doing my best. Like my teachers hated me at that school. You know what I mean? Like just because like they knew that there was
You have so much potential.
Bro, like there's so much more that you could actually be doing that you're not doing, but also we can't tell you to do more because we need you to go out there and perform. So like there's like I'm strong arming the entire school off of like my lack of care to like do anything beyond what I'm doing right now. So like I think like breaking my back was like a very important time for me because at that point it was like, you know, maybe I should fine tune this part of my brain that I haven't used since I was a child, but I've been using in spurts in order to get to this point. So let me just see what that is even about. And then that took me down this fucking rabbit hole that got me to this point right now because I shut shit all the way down. Money knows this. But over this period of time from when I was in college to this point now, I have shut so many things down for me to just fine tune everything. Like it's a fucking mad scientist thing about myself now that I'm fine tuning everything, and whatever presents. Is it off?
Lincoln.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So whatever that comes with that or whatever like that's been, whether how it's being presented or how it's coming across. We got no more video?
No, you good.
Oh, okay. Whether it's like how it's coming across or whatever, then like what I present to mass people, I haven't gotten to that point just yet. But what I do as far as like just as like a knowledge building is like my, you would say, guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, that's my enjoyable things. Like my enjoyable shit is finding out and knowing a shit ton of things just cuz.
Yeah.
And then eventually like being able to roll it out or whatever. But initially it's just like, because once you learn one thing, bro, I got to learn the next thing. Yeah. And like, I got to get to know this part. And like, you know, like, it's not like it's a fun thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think just the overall improvement is just, it's a good time overall. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of my timeline to gaining more knowledge. Not saying that I have any fucking knowledge whatsoever.
Nah, that damn G.
Don't find me knowledgeable, my nigga.
don't find me knowledgeable.
Nah, like I know a shit ton of stuff, but I also am not like trying to push it on folks either. Like I don't have time for all that. Like we have a certain amount of time in the day. Like I'm not about to be out here pushing my thoughts on other folks. Like if y'all want it, then y'all can have it. But like otherwise, nigga, I'm out here doing my own thing.
Nah, man, that shit's impressive. For so many reasons, the self-awareness portion, and I feel like that's part of the game too. When you start talking about like survival tactics, and like street savvy, book smart versus street smart, emotional intelligence, where you go, oh, everybody finessing, and I got this thing that everybody wants. Oh, let's finesse then. And it's something to be said for the humbling that is experienced and like trying to getting by, right? You're like, yo, I just gotta do enough, not ruffle no feathers, stay out the way, and it'll be all good. And there is something to be said for that. But the insulation one needs to be exceptional. Is something that I'm trying to explore more, especially with dealing with our youth and seeing how everything, especially scholastically, is garnered to lessen your curiosity, and so much of your curiosity dictates your success. And so where young kids of color, especially young black men in school, where their confidence is shattered. Immediately, their confidence is preyed upon. That's where you see young potential entrepreneurs and doctors and lawyers be undermined by the system because their curiosity is preyed upon. and having experienced that, like, imagination and being A1 from the beginning of time. Like, the first thing I ever could concoct as a child was an elaborate story about the mouse that was in the house. It was a big deal. My mom freaked out. It's a mouse in the house. And my dad, where? Go to the store, get the mouse traps, all the shit. And so that was like over the weekend. So Monday, go to school. We got free write. What I write? Nigga, a story about the super mouse that ate a hole through the wall. To me, this mouse was 6 feet tall, could talk, all the shit, right? So it was so elaborate, the teacher had to tell my mom, like, yo, y'all good over there? Like, do I need to call CPS? Y'all got rodents? And my mom was like, no. We got one little lousy mouse that we're trying to catch because we live by a fucking open field. Armani, you can't write stories like this. And I'm like, well, my imagination just took me on one. And that should have been protected. Right? Like, and it was to a certain extent. But, you know, as you grow and you like, we can touch on that forever. But there's a delicate sort of balance with knowing shit, but listening, active listening. And listening to hear and retain, as opposed to listening to respond and be driven by ego and always be right. But that also is a byproduct of knowing that knowledge can come from so many different places, right? Where it's not just like, oh, you can only learn from a professor or this, that. It's like, nah. The joint Hook Mitchell from Grand National. We've done multiple interviews, but specifically, a blogger asked, like, yo, what does the line, even the fiend not out never steered us wrong? And I was so blown away that she picked that line, because it was like, why did that line resonate with you? And it was like, I know what it meant for me, and it was a bar that I'm proud of, but it's just one of those bars that I didn't expect to mean shit to nobody. And Grandma told me when we were young, because it was like, I think somebody was asking for change, and we was down in trying, like, coming out of La Perlas or some shit. And just the way the world is shaping you, it's like, to be dismissive of that person, and Grandma don't play that shit. It's like, nah, we treat everybody with respect and like humans, and there's information to be had from even the bum on the street. Her exact words. So,
which is very fucking true, man.
Yeah,
like that it doesn't stop there. Like, it would be fool's gold for folks to think that the only knowledge that you can gain is from somebody that has something for you.
Man.
You know what I mean? And that's the trap that people find themselves in, being misled, because somebody that has something for you, it's like dangling a carrot in front of you. Dangling a dollar bill in front of you and putting you on a treadmill. Like, that's how the system is put together. It's like, nigga, we dangle some shit in front of you. You think that that's the knowledge that you want, take you down a wild goose chase, and then before you tap in and figure out, start thinking for yourself, you already stuck in this whole little abyss over here doing some shit for the wrong reasons.
Facts.
You know, instead of like taking everything in stride and like knowing that, not putting yourself ahead or like above any human being, regardless of what their current circumstance is.
Facts.
Interesting what you find out once you stop doing that shit. Like, nip that shit in the bud. Like, every moment of the day, you out here trying to big up yourself above the next person, not even knowing that you're giving them all the power and the strength, because you spending too much of your attention on some shit that's outside of yourself. Yeah. Like, put that shit on yourself. Like, you know, give yourself the credit, but also keep giving yourself the chip, the hunger, the appreciation, the wherewithal.
Yes, sir.
Good word choice. Wherewithal.
Feel me?
Yeah. Lex Bub, you have anything else?
Nah.
Yeah. G?
Thank you for answering the question too, both of y'all.
Facts.
I appreciate the question.
G, how you feel? You got everything off?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah.
I just thought of something.
Hey, man.
After this pod, everybody better stop giving Mary J. Blige shit for being happy.
Oh, that's what I want to talk about. I did say that at last piece. That's right. Yeah, go for it.
Nah, I was just saying, like, after listening to this pod and we were just talking about how, you can create from happiness, but everybody want to hear you sad.
Yeah.
Everybody always give Mary J. Blige shit because she be happy still creating.
Yeah.
Oh, you want her to be hurt? You need her crying?
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot. I sent that in last minute, but I did want to say, if y'all ever want to get the best sleep of your life,
Oh yeah, the body cam shit.
put on the movie Body Cam. Oh my God, bro. I've been trying to finish that movie for like 3 nights. Nigga, maybe I need to start that movie earlier today, bro. It's starring Mary J, so I'm sorry, Mary J. But like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
so they made like a horror film about body cam. So like, the police officers are wearing a body cam.
I seen the previews for that. Oh man.
Bro, they're wearing a body cam and like there's some type of entity that's taking out police officers that have these body cams on it, so they're only catching like this footage of them getting fucked up by this by some entity, and it's just playing out the fact that the public has a terrible relationship with the people in certain neighborhoods have a terrible relationship with the cops. But bro, I've been trying to watch this movie for the last 3 nights. And every time I wake up in the morning, like, fuck, what was I watching? So if you want to get the best sleep of your life, watch that movie.
Watch Body Cam.
I'm sorry, Mary J, but
Crispy chicken.
she got the music right, but like the acting chops, it's gonna take a little while.
All right. No, I'm editing that out. There's no Mary J. Disses on this show.
I haven't seen the Power.
The
thing,
new Power,
but
Baby Ghost.
Yeah, but hopefully it's better than that Body Cam shit.
She was all right in Umbrella Academy.
She was
in the first season of that. She was all right.
Oh, okay. I feel like she was reading that shit like she was looking at the paper.
It did look like that, but she's beginning. You gotta give it something.
I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to our YouTube viewership that is growing, our listenership that is forever growing. Continue to like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications button.
Y'all growing? Y'all eating your vegetables? My bad. Go ahead.
No, it's just been dope to see. It's dope to see the engagement. I appreciate y'all. Some real dope shit to announce. A special thank you to the Reef Studios here located in Oakland, California. Jaron Lucas, Brian Simmons, and myself developing a creative hub for creatives of all types, but for those creatives that don't have a home. Again, studios, venues are closing left and right in the pandemic, so it is a true honor to serve our creative community here in the East Bay, specifically Oakland. Yeah, man, and everybody that is coming through, getting work done, helping keep these lights on, keep these doors open, from podcasts to music, you name it. We appreciate you, and it's been another episode of the Meet the Brave podcast. We will see y'all next week.
Love.
Yes.